Saturday in South Carolina. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. South Carolina's Republican primary is tomorrow, and if the polls are to be believed, former President Trump way ahead of his lone challenger and the former governor of that state, Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley sees the polls. She told Fox's America's Newsroom she doesn't have to win her home state tomorrow to stay in the race.
But it certainly has to be better than what I did in New Hampshire, and it certainly has to be close.
She accused former President Trump of talking incessantly about his legal issues. Trump told a Fox News town hall this week the legal cases against him are forms of election interference.
Nikki has no chance, but if she ever did, they would go after her the same way.
But Haley was asked why she can't seem to stop Trump, whose numbers seem to rise with every legal filing or appearance.
Just wait. March, April, May, June.
The months, she says, when the former president will be stuck in courtrooms. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Here's South Carolina Senator Tim Scott.
What we need now is to be very clear. Any other day after tomorrow, talking about Republican primaries is a day wasted not talking about Joe Biden.
The senator's comments on Fox and Friends. President Biden is renewing a push for Congress to take up a bipartisan border agreement. Fox's Jared Halpern reports from the White House.
President Biden told a room of Republican and Democratic governors here to apply pressure on their congressional delegations to take up a Senate border and immigration proposal.
You have real skin in the game. So if this matters to you, it matters to your state. Tell your members of Congress who are standing in the way, show a little spine.
A bipartisan Senate bill would have put new restrictions on asylum and authorized new spending for enforcement. Republicans say it is not strong enough and have urged the president to restore policies from the Trump administration. President Biden is reportedly considering some executive actions, though they could face legal challenges. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
America's listening to Fox News.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Now we're talking. How's it going? 303. And it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. With Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at the controls, you know him as Flounder. Weekend ahead, and here in Atlanta area, sunny and mild, high around 60. Not too shabby. Might have to hit some balls this weekend. Anyway, boys, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, including we should all team in together. Bye-bye, Fanny. Bye-bye. There's no way that she could get me now survive the latest. We'll talk about it. Anyway, Pete Day will have Holy Crap at Sports. We have games and teases, and we've got Flounder's Funnies. And wait till you hear about the latest with the ethics boards and the president talking about sex and says, Saturday! Yeah, apparently President Poundo is bragging about his sexual prowess, and that's the secret to a good marriage with Jill the doctor, is good sex. Oh, God, you know, the visual alone. Mr. Erector set trying to make it up the stairs. Anyway, 304, Kimmer, Pete, Flounder. Pete Davis, what's new in the mountains of Macon, sir, in this beautiful, beautiful, mild, and light, breezy afternoons. Gorgeous.
Guess who was asking about you this morning?
Well, obviously some hot babe. Probably stopped over to Waffle House and they said, hey, do you work with a Kimmer? Because I've always wanted... What? I'm sorry. I got a thing going on my head. I can't... I've got... Something's wrong and it's in there and anyway, I'm sorry. What did you say?
Well, guess who asked about you this morning?
Well, okay, you were living in mountains. A waitress. Some waitress, you stopped in for breakfast and she saw your shirt and it said something and she said, oh, do you work? I don't know. I have no... possible.
Nobody.
Oh, man, that's cold. Guess who's an a-hole? Let's see. Very funny. I live alone. I go home in the dark and say, I'm home, honey. Honey, up the darkened stairs. I leave the TV on, so there's a little glowing something in the corner when I get upstairs. Yeah. And Flounder's got the sweetest girl in the freaking world. God, she had a twin about 20 years older, I'll tell you what. Anyway, Flounder, what you plans for the weekend? Anything? I hope Miss Veronica's feeling better.
Yeah, she's starting to, but she's still dealing with this allergy infection. But her brother's birthday is tonight, so we're going to go to some brewery in Norcross and have some beers and dinner.
So there you go. Well, that'll be fun. And Pete, any weekend activity plans or anything in the beautiful weather this weekend?
Actually, I have a friend who's playing at some pub tomorrow night, so I'll probably go check with that.
Oh, really? Maybe like a band, you mean? Singer? Or...
Yeah, he plays by himself, piano and guitar, so it'd be interesting to see.
It's not Johnny. Johnny
Perazzo?
Johnny Perazzo.
No.
Okay. How's he doing, by the way? He was great, man. I had more fun with him doing stuff with his piano, telling jokes. He did great, like tribute, funny comedy things. I mean, he was really, really good. I'm really enjoying. I hope he's still doing stuff. He was a popular local piano playing comedian.
I remember during COVID, he would play at this pizza joint where people would just go pick up their orders.
Yeah.
And he would play outside. Blue car coming to get their pizzas and pepperoni, and he just sit outside.
He's a great guy. And just, in fact, he's somewhere in my phone. I think I still have his. I haven't talked or texted to him in a couple of years. I think I should contact him. Hope he's doing all right. Anyway, 307. Well, God, 307. I can't believe it. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Here's a number: 404-741-1230, 741-1230. I almost wasn't going to talk about this, and then as I was talking to Pete earlier today, I kind of thought I hit a deer last night. Not. Thank God, not full big time Charlie, but the whole thing is absolutely flabbergasting to me. I'll give specifics because this doesn't make any sense. When I leave here, the route I took normally is I go up Powers Ferry Road north and then go east on Terrell Mill. For those who know the area near the ballpark here, those are main roads. Okay, Powers Ferry is a big 4-lane, 6-lane highway. Terrell Mill's a 4-lane or 5-lane. It changes stuff. Highway with a divided stuff and everything. I mean, there are major roadways, okay? So I'm going east on Terrell Mill, past Indian Trail. And again, I'm being specific only for those who live in the neighborhood because you need to know this. As I'm going east past Indian Trail, and it was dark. By this time, it was very dark. And all of a sudden, I see a deer in front of my headlights on the left side of my car, and I swerved, and another deer, they come in twos. And son of a gun, another deer glanced off my right front bumper, and I swerved and I stopped. I hit the brakes and he took off. So I knew he didn't hit. He hit my car. More than I hit him or her. Probably I think it was a doe. I didn't see any horns, but I couldn't see. It was a blur. I mean, and it came out of it came out of nowhere. And by the way, the speed limit there is 40 or 45 miles an hour. So, I can't believe anything about this. How could two deer be running across someone's lawn onto a busy highway where cars are going 40 or 50 miles an hour? I couldn't believe it. Terrell Mill, about 6:45 last night or something like that. 7 o'clock. I couldn't believe it.
Deer are not that smart.
I know, but how did they even get that? I mean, that's not an area where you'd think. I mean, there's woods nearby. It's still a suburban area. But God, I mean, the reason I'm doing this is because I felt horrible. That, oh my God, I figured it's going to be blood on my car. I hit the deer. And luckily, thank God, it was a glancing blow, but scared the crap out of me. I mean, really. And again, so I guess the deer going in the road season's not over. I thought that was in late spring when they start rutting and stuff. But man,
they're all over my road.
Well, yeah, you've got a lot of.
I'm right by the river and national park.
Yeah, so. And of course, where I go to the stable up in Milton and Alpharetta, more Alpharetta than Milton. It's not Milton, it's Alpharetta. I mean, they're up in the back of the woods up in there. There's 1,000 of them. So I mean, but still, I couldn't believe it. On Terrell Mill, cars zipping 40, 50 miles an hour. Anyway, so just I say to be careful because you don't want to do that.
Last night on Netflix, there's a Richard Attenborough special about color and how animals use color and everything.
Really?
Do you know why a tiger is orange?
I think the skin is orange, not the fur. I think they're born with orange flesh, if I'm not mistaken. I could be right. Zebras, too, I think, are born with their flesh that way.
We have 3 color receptors. Deer only have 2, so they can't register orange. So the tiger walking up on them, it's almost, and they did the camera angle where you take away the orange, and the deer can't see the tiger.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
It's almost like it's invisible, and it walks up. And the only way the deer survive is they hang around something called a langur monkey, which is the eye of the jungle, and the monkeys can see the tiger, and they start screaming, and the deer take off. And everyone says, well, why, if the tiger has orange, why doesn't it just have a green coat and doesn't have to worry about the orange? It can just blend into everything, because mammals, including us, cannot produce the pigment green.
No kidding. Well, the frogs are green. Well, they're not mammals. They're not mammals.
Yeah.
So mammal, well, I'll be damned.
We do blue, red, orange, everything but green.
You talk about, well, humans only have, the 3 or 4 shades of color, but animals have bright, different. Well, I'll be damned. But that's amazing. The tigers, they're invisible to deer. Oh my God, in the dark. Wow.
Seriously, you and I can see it, and then they put the camera on it where the orange goes away, and the thing disappears.
I'll tell you, I've never been disappointed watching Richard Attenborough in anything he's done. I mean, this is old fuddy-duddy television, but I'm telling you what, this is really entertaining stuff. I love stuff like that. And his accent, is also very proper, yes. I love the way he pronounces stuff. I'm trying to think of one where the British prononciation of a word is exactly the opposite.
He's got a pith helmet on.
but I'm trying to think of some of the great words where they just...
controversy.
Or stuff like that. Yeah, controversy. Oh, mercy. 312. It's Let It Rip Friday. Anything goes. Here's a number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We have, they're looking for a subject of interest, a person of interest at University of Georgia in the death of that young lady, Laken Riley, who was a nursing student. And she was out for a ride and working. We'll talk more about it. 22 years old, found dead and beaten, and with visible injuries, actually. A homicide of some kind, and they have a person of interest, and they've been looking at stuff across the street and dumpsters and gas station things. So they're hopefully closing in on something. We'll keep you updated. The big story, though, the big story, bye-bye Fanny. Holy cow. If you haven't heard about if you were listening to the news 15 minutes ago, then you got it. But Fanny. Bobo, Fanny, see you around. Fanny, there's no way she can survive this. In fact, she ought to be in line for a mugshot. Remember how excited she was to put Donald Trump in front and try to get a mugshot of him? Well, she and her lover boy, Mr. BBC, ought to be in time for mugshots too, because they just got caught committing perjury. More about them. We'll compare what they said to what they found. 313, Let It Rip Friday with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder right here.
Live and local every morning. It's the Morning Extra with Tug, Rhino, and Los.
Every guy that works there is just sweaty and obviously on marijuana. So.
On marijuana. That sounds like something my mama would have said.
Yeah, they're on marijuana. They're high as a kite.
He just turned into a 60-year-old man.
They're on that devil's lettuce. Make it. I don't want none of that devil's lettuce in my burrito.
Smoking them drums.
Those boys in there are on the marijuana.
Anytime you put the in front of it, it is, that is...
Marijuana.
Or hit it like that. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That wacky weed.
That ganja, they call it.
That's what they say.
Can't get my order right. I have to keep telling them over and over.
All them workers are on Satan's seed.
That's right. I'm telling you.
But I will say I get more chips when that guy is high. So many chips.
I can usually smell it on him.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. every weekday morning on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
A new Braves season is around the corner, and tickets are on sale. The Braves home schedule is jam-packed with great matchups, including the Texas Rangers in April, Red Sox in May, and Phillies in July. Plus, you better get your tickets now for when Shohei and the Dodgers head to Truist Park in September. 2024 will also be more amazing gate giveaways, like the Ronald Acuna Jr. bobblehead trio commemorating his record-breaking season. Replica chain giveaways featuring Michael Harris II and Orlando Arcia, a City Connect replica jersey, and the list goes on. Visit Braves.com/promos to see all of the amazing giveaways throughout the season and purchase your tickets. And fan favorite specialty ticket packages are back in 2024, including the Military Appreciation, Father's Day Catch on the Field, Star Wars, and more. Visit Braves.com/packages to see these special packages and the exclusive items that come along with your game ticket. Atlanta Braves baseball for the A.
As we start 2024, Central Heating and Air Conditioning would like to thank everyone for trusting them with your heating and air conditioning and home performance needs by throwing the 27th annual Winter White Sale going on right now through the end of February. And you can save up to $2,000 with carrier rebates, the best in the business. At Central, you're guaranteed to get the best deals possible. And why is Central Heating and Air the best? Well, they're one of the few locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and it's still that way today. And Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house health and possibly your family's health with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speeds, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Central Heating and Air's 27th annual Winter White Sale goes through the end of February. So check them out online at centralheat.com or call them at 770-GET-HEAT and turn to your Atlanta carrier experts.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Hey there, it's Janelle King, host of The Janelle King Show, right here on Extra 106.3 FM, where we are unafraid and unapologetic. We explore the topics that matter the most. You can catch us on Saturdays at 4 p.m. and encore episode on Sundays at 9 a.m. And catch up on past episodes by going to the podcast park right here at Extra 106.3 or wherever you get your podcasts every single Tuesday. Until then, stay unafraid, stay unapologetic, and never stop seeking the truth.
Blue-collar business owners, listen up. It's time to revolutionize your hiring process with the Blue-Collar Recruiter. Finding the right talent for your blue-collar needs just got easier. We specialize in connecting you with skilled and dedicated workers so you can focus on growing your business. So say goodbye to recruitment headaches. Let the Blue-Collar Recruiter save you time, effort, and deliver top-notch talent directly to your doorstep. Invest in your team's success with the Blue-Collar Recruiter. Visit thebluecollarrecruiter.com or call 678-916-6145.
This is The Kimmer Show, back on the air every afternoon until 6 p.m. And be here for more conservative talk tomorrow morning on your ride to work with Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on Extra 106.3.
Well, tomorrow, Monday, either one's fine. Because got the morning, those beautiful morning bastards. Man, they're getting me good for some reason. Wow. Oh, mercy. It's okay, though, because we're all on the same team here, and we're all sticking together. 3:19, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? Happy, beautiful, freaking Friday afternoon. Let it rip. 404-741-1230. And Howie Epstein, the bass player with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, on this day in 2003, died of a suspected drug overdose in New Mexico. Howie Epstein had replaced the Heartbreakers' original bassist, Ron Blair. Epstein also worked with Bob Dylan, Johnny Cash, Stevie Nicks, Roy Orbison, Carl Perkins, Linda Ronstadt, and Del Shannon. Good grief. Bass player for Tom Petty. Drug overdose. Didn't say how old he was here, and I didn't look it up. So I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. A birthday list includes a naughty little Dakota Fanning. She's now freaking 30. She was Sarah Howard on Alienist, Sherry Curry on The Runaways, Jane in the Twilight movies, I Am Sam, Uptown Girls, War of the Worlds, Charlotte's Web, and God, 50. What was a Tom Cruise when she did? I
don't know. She was in the last Denzel Washington, The Equalizer. She was in the last one.
She was? What role did she have in the last Equalizer?
She's a CIA agent in the Equalizer 3.
Oh, I don't. Oh, wait, Equalizer 3?
One,
oh, no, I haven't seen that one. That's out. Is it out? Or it must be Netflix.
Oh,
yeah. Well, how do I? Of course. Yeah, I got to get that watch. I got to get the app for my watch so I can watch the movie on my watch now because I'm old and they don't have old people
Flounder,
looking at movies.
would you put Netflix on his damn laptop so we can get this
321.
Yes, we'll put it on his iPad this weekend.
321 here with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And on our history list today, okay, speaking of musical music, on this day in 2006, the 1 billionth legally downloaded song was purchased on iTunes. That song, Speed of Sound, from Coldplay's 2005 album X and Y. 1 billionth downloaded song on iTunes 2006. Okie dokie, how you doing? 321, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. This hour, by the way, is sponsored by our good friends at First Liberty Building and Loan. If you need financing to grow your business, then visit firstlibertyga.com. By the way, boom, let's see. Oh, we got to get to that Fanny story. And I mean, I just can't believe this. I can't believe this. What was she thinking? And some commentary on what it means. Oh, we got all this stuff. First of all, I got Flounders sent me an email. I really do appreciate it when now Pete Davis, you're officially the producer, so this really is directed to you as much as it is to me. But and again,
listener feedback is important.
I'm trying to say we appreciate
spread
this.
The blame around.
No, we just it's my name on the show, but it's all where it's a thing here. And so I think we need to share the. But I'll take full responsibility because my name's on the show, so I'm not going to pass the buck in any way. But this is a little constructive criticism, and I shall read it now about how I love it when people tell me what I should be doing on my program. This is from Dale, and it says, please stop talking about Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, The Bachelor, or any other like The Bachelorette, The Farmer Wants a Wife, although the old Golden Bachelor, all those stuff, and stop talking about all those shows and women's feet. I'm a long-time listener and love all you guys and wish the best. Hell, Flounder was a senior at GSU my freshman year. It gives off a weird vibe that y'all should be more aware of. This is just advice, not an on-air request or a complaint to management. I'm one of your biggest fans. I love what you're doing for the common sense voters. Go get them, guys. Love from Mayretta. I don't know what the name is. It doesn't matter. But anyway, listen, it comes up. It's a story. I mean, ever since when Barbie came out, the interview, they said, oh, you're getting so much attention. She said, well, what's it like? She says, well, the thing I can't believe is all the guys want to do is ask me to send pictures of my feet. And that girl, the phony black girl, it was the NAACP chairman who was a fake, and she's really white. I forgot her name. We just talked about Rachel Dolezal. She said she's on OnlyFans now because men want to see pictures of her feet. It's not me. I didn't do anything. Okay. Anyway, I thought that was pretty.
The man just begged you to stop talking about that.
I don't know if it was a man. It sounded like a girl to me, but I could have been a man. He didn't want to talk about people hooking up and getting. In fact, I watched Farmer Wants a Wife last night, and I don't know. God, the whole thing makes me ill. It's cringeworthy. I just can't imagine dating. Saying, well, so tell me, what are you in 5 years? Oh, God.
Did they show what happened to last year's couple? Did they get married? Are they together? What's going on? From last year. They have not shown that. I think for one thing, it was only. Well, I don't know. Again, the tape I saw last night was really great weather, so obviously it was filmed last summer.
because they're out in shorts and, hot weather and stuff. So, the delay on these things, who knows? Anyway, we won't dwell on that, but we will dwell, and I've got more email things too. And I want to talk about my iPad thing. I went screaming into Flounders in the studio control room right next to me. I said, damn it all, it's frustration. And then I, by accident, figured it out. I still don't know what I hit that made it go back to normal on my iPad. But again, and I want to thank Kevin, my Delta pilot, for helping me out. But then it turned up dead this morning because of, anyway, I'll talk about it. Okay. Fanny. Justin, Fannie Willis's pants are actually on fire, ladies and gentlemen. This video, if they aren't, they ought to be, and for the wrong reason. Now, obviously, she's a hot pants babe, she's hot in every way. And it turns out she's a lot hotter than she wanted us to know. Yes. Here's the latest information after Fannie Willis said, oh, no, we were never boyfriend, girlfriend. He was never humping me until after I hired him. So it was not like I was paying him off for doing me good for a year or 2 years or anything like that. Okie dokie. Well, let's review. Okie dokie. She and her special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, her lover, were dating at trysts at her apartment well before they claimed it. Cell phone data. Wade, the boyfriend, visited the exact area where the DA was renting her condo 35 times before their admitted affair. Yeah, she said when they asked her how many times he had visited her at their apartment in Hapeville, she said, "Oh, I don't know. I mean, whatever." Sloughed it off. Well, AT&T phone records. We'll have more on that, by the way. Well, AT&T phone records gleaned from the Wade phone pinged off specific cell phone towers where she lived, and the sheer volume of data, according to the investigator, filed with the Fulton County Superior Court. They filed on 2 specific dates. At 3:28 in the morning, he went home and texted her at 4:20, and then one night at 11:32, he arrived there and left at 12:30. No, he stayed there until 4:55 a.m. So, stuff like this is going on. And this is the apartment that she was renting from her former close friend, who testified that they were kissing and making out and boyfriend-girlfriend in 2019, 3 years before she claimed she was playing Hide the Zorgata with her boyfriend. And by the way, this is the killer. Okay, we've now that they can prove that they were together at her place 35 times before she admitted it. This is my favorite. Loverboy and Fanny the Floozy made more than 2,000 voice calls to each other, 2,000 voice calls, and 12,000 text messages over the 11-month period in 2021. Again, before she hired him. 2,000 voice calls and 12,000 text messages in 11 months. Okay, so that's more than 1,000 a month, which would be would be 350 a week, which would be 7 into 33 or 7. It's like 70. That'd be one every 20 minutes. But isn't that like 60? Oh my God! Isn't that like 60 text messages a day? Wow. Holy crap. No, now wait a minute. All right, let's say it's a little over 1,000 in 1 month. So 30 days. So in 30 days, if 1,000 is why am I having trouble with this math? is 300. And if you divide it by 4, it's unbelievable. It's like every 20 minutes they're texting. Holy crap. I love this. By the way, this is the funny thing. Donald Trump's lead attorney, Stephen Sadow. By the way, Stephen Sadow, I don't know whether Fanny is familiar with Stephen Sadow. Stephen Sadow's been a big-time, big-shot lawyer for 50 years, it seems like, around here. This guy doesn't, he's nobody's fool. And when Stephen Sadow set her up, here's what he did. Sadow filed the document into court today, and he asked for a response. He said, so if phone records were to reflect that you were making calls from the same location as the condo in November 2021 on multiple occasions, the phone records would be wrong. And her lover boy said, if the phone record reflected that, yes, sir. Say it out. They'd be wrong? Yes, they'd be wrong. Well, that was a lie. The special prosecutor said they've been in. He said he could have been in the area for any number of reasons. Going to local restaurants or going to the Porsche Experience Center. But they checked out with the analytics tool called CellHawk, used for analysis, pinpointing accurate possibility excludes them. He could not have traveled along either I-75 or 85 close to the nearby attractions or the airport. They could track his phone and prove he's lying again. They got lie after lie after lie. And with her, are we taking a quick break here? Is that can I get to 10 seconds?
Yeah, we also got Trucker John on the line, and he wants to comment on this.
Excellent.
And we can take him now if you want. We got plenty of time.
Okay, I'll wrap this up real quick and get the hip too. But Wade, it says Wade visited her at her condo when Willis replied when asked how many times Wade visited her at the condo, she said, I don't think often, but I don't want to speculate. And Sato tried to get her to answer, and he said, well, let's say more than 10. Well, I'm not sure that's even accurate. He came, picked me up, gone and grabbed some food. I don't remember him being in the condo a lot. Oh, my God. Her friend testified there was no doubt they were having a romantic relationship. In fact, with all the... And by the way, she can't... she's lying. She committed perjury. And by the way, there's a lot more charges than that. Trying to distract an investigation, obstruction of justice. I mean, she's done all kinds of things to try to railroad her ability to handle this case. That's not the way a case is supposed to be handled by a district attorney's office. The Fulton County DA? You can't do that. I mean, she's got to go, but she's also going to be arrested. She ought to be arrested for perjury and obstruction of justice. And by the way, they ought to be taking freaking mugshots of the two of them. Man, would that be funny? Okay, now, did you say Trucker John?
That's correct.
Trucker John, you on the radio, man. How's it going? What's up?
Hey, Kimmer, how you doing, bud? Pete, Flounder, y'all be good on Friday, all right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, that Fanny the Floozy has got to be the dumbest district attorney I think I have ever heard in my life.
Not only that, the balls on this woman. Talk about an uppity black chick. I mean, that's one of the most horrible phrases to use on a powerful black woman, but this is no more than an uppity black chick. She's not a powerful black woman. She's a freaking fraud and a liar, and as far as I'm concerned, a crook. Misuse of funds? You got to be kidding me! This is no black leader woman. They keep giving her awards for black associations and stuff. You got to be kidding me! She's a freaking disgrace for black women or any women, especially women trying to break the glass ceiling. She's the DA. I guarantee she wanted to be Atlanta mayor. That's why she was doing all this, to go get Trump to put her in the mayor's office. And now she ought to be thrown out of office in disgrace and stand up now. And by the way, the Supreme Court of Georgia is going to be deciding whether she deserves to keep this job or not. Here we go, man.
I think she had aspirations bigger than mayor, Kimmer.
Well,
I think she was going to take Stacey Abrams' place. She wanted to be governor.
Yeah, maybe so, or maybe a congresswoman. I'll bet congresswoman was in her sights.
Cabinet member.
Cocaine. What's her name? The one before hers. I forgot her. The mayor's name.
Jailbird would be a better name.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, Jay, be careful out there. What?
You know what the biggest thing I took out of that article?
What's that?
There are apartments in Hapeville?
Well, the guy keep their side pieces somewhere near the airport. All the basketball players got their side pieces, got to go somewhere. 3:33, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Let her in Friday, man. This is going to be fun. Look out, here we go.
Atlanta radio legends are right here on Extra 106.3. And here's what you missed from Neil Boortz.
We don't allow children to drive until they're 16 years old. Why not? They don't have the judgment to drive. Really ought to be 18 years old. We don't allow people to drink until they're 21. Why not? They don't have the judgment to know when they're drinking too much and how to handle that alcohol. Why is it that we recognize the need for judgment and rational thinking in some areas, driving and drinking, but not in others?
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
All right, we got more politics coming up here a little bit. Talk about Dr. Jill and Horn Dog President walks like an erector set, but apparently he can still found a way with the best of them. Also, there are differences officially proven now between men and women. I'll be darned. Who'd have thunk it? 334, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? A word for our buddies at Atlanta Safe House. Lock up your stuff, unlike the Kimmer. Yes, it's true. I'm going to keep saying that your Social Security card does not go in your wallet. It goes in your safe. So, therefore, you need a safe. And it's not just that. Your kids' medical records to go back to school. Things you want to save, like if you're trying to find, like, the last time you went to a dentist and who it was and stuff, put his business card or your receipt and stuff in your safe. Stuff, personal papers, medical records, living will, marriage and divorce papers, and all that kind of stuff for your kids, and the things you want to treasure. Jewelry, and the first rose you got at the prom, your all business records, money, cash, and of course gun safes are always on sale, great prices. And again, Jeff and Mark will have off-duty police, firefighters, and military to give them a little extra income and say thanks for what you do. They deliver those safes to you, bolted to your concrete floor in your basement or garage if you want anything you're looking for. Not that little teeny plastic box at the drugstore with a little teeny key. That's not a safe. Protecting your assets and your medical records, unlike the Kimmer that left me out with a VA nap. I don't even want to talk about it. Anyway, it's my fault. I had two safes up here, didn't have a safe down in Florida, so there you go. That's the difference. Don't be like the Kimmer. Be much smarter. And they have a showroom in Ackworth. Please tell them the Kimmer sent you. You'll love what they have for you. Look them up on the web. Check it out, atlantasafehouse.com.
I think it's time to get rid of that old, ugly garage door.
Get rid of it? All it needs is a quick repair. Where's my duct tape and WD-40?
This is Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors, and let us be the ones to tell you if you need a repair or a replacement. If you have a wooden or uninsulated steel door, a replacement will always pay for itself with energy savings. But if your door is insulated and not very old, put down the duct tape and let us come out to service your door the right way. Head to allfourseasonsgarages.com or give us a call today.
Witness the new era of Georgia Tech men's basketball under the guidance of their new head coach, NBA great Damon Stoudemire. Coach Stoudemire has brought the excitement back to the Thriller Dome, and you can be a part of it. Don't miss the next home game presented by R.S. Andrews when Florida State visits McCamish Pavilion on Saturday, March 2nd at noon. Great seats are still available for purchase, and you can get more information at RamblinWreck.com. Hurry up and grab your tickets to experience the thrill and excitement of Georgia Tech basketball. Sting 'em.
It's a mad world out there, but one thing is certain, everyone is trying to market something. So tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. to the Marketing Madmen, who, along with a variety of industry expert guests, can help you make sense of it all. Whether you own a business and want tips to scale, or are a fan of the finer things in life and want to know how restaurants, golf courses, and wine companies try to sell you stuff, the Marketing Madmen is your ultimate destination for all things marketing. Tune in right here on Extra 106.3 every Saturday at 3 p.m. or search online for more content. Join the madness with the Marketing Madmen.
Keep up with all of our shows and the latest headlines by following Extra 106.3 on Instagram, X, Facebook, Truth Social, and all your social media platforms. Plus exclusive giveaways and more. So follow now at XTRA 106.3.
I always thought this was kind of a silly little song. It kind of reminded me of what's his name with silly love songs, Paul McCartney.
McCartney,
yeah. Michael Jackson, 338 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And it was on this day, 2003. The News of the World reported that Michael Jackson had undergone scores of painful operations to strip his body of black skin until he appeared white. They said surgeons at a Santa Monica clinic eventually refused him any more treatments. An insider told the paper that Jackson had been anesthetized on a weekly basis to have his skin peeled and bleached. Now, was that ever true? Wasn't it? Didn't he have a disease? Wasn't he actually suffering from that disease where your skin changes, has different splotches or something? But then, although I remember thinking, oh my God, the poor bastard was trying to keep his skin bleached the same way he was trying to keep his voice high, and he was just trying to make himself continue to be a kid singing sensation type thing. So I don't know. I don't know what's true or not. I can't tell you. Let's see. Birthdays include Emily Blunt. You like her a lot, I think, Pete, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
You see, Emily Blunt is 40.
She's in Oppenheimer. She does a good job in Oppenheimer.
Well, let me go ahead and read this. Emily Blunt, 41, in Oppenheimer. Oh, sorry. Pete already mentioned him. She was in... Just for that, I'm going to start doing sports birthdays before you start Holy Crap at Sports at 5:15. Emily Blunt, 41, in Oppenheimer, and The Rock's co-star in the Jungle Cruise movie. You may have loved her in Into the Woods, Mary Poppins Returns, The Adjustment Bureau. That's one, was that Tom Cruise?
Matt Damon.
Adjustment Bureau. The Devil Wears Prada. And for killing Tom Cruise over and over again in Edge of Tomorrow. That's the one I was thinking of. Emily Blunt, 41. There you go. And Tom Cruise again. God, that guy is in movies. And let's see. Our check on the history list. What? I don't know.
That's a bold statement there. You might want to walk that one back. What?
I was trying to find my next spot that it's one of those, well, let me see what I got here.
Oh, my God.
Shut up.
Tom Cruise is in movies.
Boy, really been some movies, hasn't he? Well, golly. In 1861, Abraham Lincoln was the president-elect. But there would be no giant parade with cheering crowds and throngs and a speech to mark the occasion on his swearing in. Instead, on this day in 1861, they had to sneak Lincoln into Washington, D.C. in secret because somebody had just tried to kill him in Baltimore. So, anyway... luckily, it turned out fine, and he lived a long, happy... Oh, sorry. 340, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. I don't know. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. You know what I was thinking about today? How come in men's jeans, the zipper is too short?
What?
The zipper, I guarantee you've noticed if there's guys in men's room, how many guys have you seen have to actually unzip their jeans and lower them a little bit? Because the zipper on men's jeans doesn't go down very far, so you have to push the jeans down to get John Henry out of the jungle.
Right.
I'm serious.
Okay.
No, I mean, now it's not a thing. No, it's, I guarantee you, nobody's known that. All right, any guy who knows what the Kimmer's exactly talking about, and it's not a big thing. In fact, you're...
That's what she said.
Well, thank you. All right, I'm going to stop talking now.
You know what I hate? I hate that you get the zipper down, and then somehow the opening to the underwear has just gone around to your butt.
Well, that's why you need the pouch. You need the pouch. I'm telling you, the jockey pouch is the greatest invention in underpants. And anyway, so I'm telling you, I mean, the jeans, they're just, they don't go lower far enough. You have to push them way down to be able to do the thing. Anyway, 342. Okay. Let's see. I'm glad I was thinking about that today for a second. The Ethics Board of Fulton County is going to be investigating our Fulton floozy. It should be over. In fact, I'm amazed. There are still hearings scheduled in the future. And there's a complaint against Fani the floozy that she was refusing to release certain records about invoices under the Georgia Open Records Law. Another complaint that she acted unethically, contracting outside counsel to prosecute the case while being romantically involved. And so the Fulton County Board of Ethics is hearing those two complaints. There's disagreement whether the county code even applies to her. The penalty, although even if she's convicted of something, is basically a public reprimand, maybe a little fine. The House Judiciary Committee is also accusing her of doing a political witch hunt against Donald Trump over slutty conduct. Georgia Senate Committee is investigating Floozy Fani in relation to the interference case. A prosecutorial oversight board taking up her complaint to investigate her. Marjorie Taylor Greene is asking for an ethics complaint investigation. I mean, dude, she's got to go. It's over. There's no possible way. Again, if you just joined us, let me just repeat this. You're going to think I'm making this up. Okay. The records show that Fani and her lover, before she admitted they were a lover, before that, they were together at her overnight apartment 35 times. 35 times before she hired him as a special prosecutor, which she denied. Also, this is my favorite. They made more than 2,000 voice calls to each other and exchanged about 12,000 text messages in an 11-month period in 2021. Again, before she says they were having a romantic relationship. 2,000 voice calls, 12,000 text messages in 11 months. So that's more than 1,000 a month. That's 30 a day.
Come on, they're in the same Jenga club.
Yeah, they're doing Wordle. Or what's that, Wordle? Is that what they call it?
Wordle.
Jenga! Oh, my God. And, I mean, it's just they've caught her in one lie after another. I mean, one lie after another. She's a criminal. She's a crook and a criminal. And by the way, there was a commentary, what do we call it here? A letter to the editor thing by a woman named Chitra Raghavan, a girl. And she says, Willis is a cautionary tale for black women. Remember, ladies, dominant, ambitious female leaders find rules are different. A little-known black female state prosecutor from Georgia vowing to hold Donald Trump and his cronies accountable for alleged election interference. But last week came the fall, and it was hard. Sordid allegations from lawyers from one of Trump's co-defendants. And she goes down the chain, and the girl says, "You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial." She was uppity and nasty and vicious the whole... That's my comment on the site. Okay, this commentary goes on to say, the fact that her father had to step in to protect his daughter reflects how difficult it is for a woman to proclaim her truth and innocence loud, proud, and strong. The repercussions ripple. She's saying the daddy had to come in and protect her. That's how hard it is for a woman to be true and innocent and loud and proud and strong. The repercussions ripple well beyond Willis, not only dirty her reputation and compromise her case, but also send a message to powerful women. Don't you dare. New research, she writes, shows this is a woman named Chitra Raghavan. I don't know who she is. Well, it says here she's an executive coach and strategic advisor to a technology people or something. She says new research shows while men benefit from networking with high-status people, women lose status in the eyes of their colleagues. They don't like dominant and ambitious female leaders. Women continue to be underrepresented in the highest echelons of business and government. She would say you're under a warning, you're under a microscope more than your male counterparts. Perception's reality, no getting around it. Listen to your gut. If it feels wrong, it is. No secrets in the workplace. Word gets, and she goes on and on and on. Fight back. Female leaders, fight back. Take your lead. Somehow, she said, it's been okay to become openly racist, sexist, and misogynistic. For high-profile female leaders who challenge the power structure and the status quo, this holds risks, even physical danger for them and their families, as the assault of Nancy Pelosi's elderly husband personally proves his fresh. Women, they're coming together. Oh, God. She's a freaking phony and a liar, and they caught her. She's a crook, and she ought to go to jail. I can't wait to see that mugshot with the two of them together. Maybe kissing and hugging. Could do a little kissy, huggy photo. Maybe he's groping, he's fondling her or something. Or she's, looking for a little reach or something. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Complimentary.
3-4. Yeah, exactly. You haven't got the common decency. 347.
If you love news and talk, you have to connect with the biggest personalities in the South at thepodcastpark.com. It's more original Atlanta content from Atlanta's hometown talk crew. From legal news to sports and politics, and even archives of interviews from years past. Find the podcast that you love and subscribe everywhere you get podcasts.
You shouldn't need a degree in finance to choose a checking account. That's why we made Truist One Checking. No trade-offs, no compromise, no hassle. Just the stuff you want from a bank that cares. And that means no overdraft fees, lots of practical perks, and automatic upgrades. Truist One Checking. One simple choice. Visit Truist.com/one. Truist.com/ONE. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, it's Lowe's for Exmark and Howard Brothers. Believe it or not, spring is right around the corner, and the folks at Howard Brothers are gearing up for it. If you need a mower in 2024, Howard Brothers and Exmark have it for you. Exmark mowers aren't just for green industry pros. There's an Exmark for all of us. The Quest, Radius, Laser, zero-turn mowers that will ensure that your yard work isn't hard work. Learn more at howardbrothers.com/Exmark. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Exmark and Howard Brothers.
If it's time to buy a new car, what are you looking for? Price? Sure, that's easy. Anyone can offer you a good price, but not everyone cares about your community as much as we do. At Subaru of Gwinnett, there's a lot to love. You'll love our staff, our service department, the entire experience. Because at Subaru of Gwinnett, it's about way more than buying a car. It's investing in your community and loving the people you do it with. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, come in for a test drive and find great offers on the 2024 Subaru Outback or the model that best fits your lifestyle. And yes, we check a lot of boxes: safety, value, and of course, loving what you drive. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com and find the ride that best suits you. Learn about our incredible staff and find out how your next purchase will benefit your community. We promise you'll love it, because love is what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Subaru of Gwinnett, Satellite Boulevard in Duluth, and online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for a new weekly radio show, Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. or find it online at thepodcastpark.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
The 2024 election season is here. But when you need to know the stories that matter without the slant, we've got your back. With the Morning Extra, 6 a.m. to 10, Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, and the Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, and your home for 2024 election coverage is Extra 106.3.
Dun, da, 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 da. The Peaches signed in Massachusetts. 2002 there, 2002. A little staying alive action, a little walking on the sidewalk action, little happy Bee Gees. Here we go, play. And I got some soprano going there, little falsettos. 2002, the Bee Gees made their last ever concert appearance when they appeared at the Love and Hope Ball in Miami Beach in 2002. Are they all gone now? Maybe one alive? Didn't we talk about that? I think there's one left. And so anyway, but quite a singing family. At 3:51 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, our birthday list includes Aziz Ansari. 41 years old. Pretty funny guy. It was on, was it not 30 Rock? What's the other one? Parks and Rec. And he's also, I've seen some of his comedy bits, stand-up bits. He's a pretty funny guy. He's Dev on Master of None, Tom Haverford on Parks and Rec, and a lightning rod for Bad Date Horror Stories. Oh, that's right. I remember hearing something about that.
Got canceled. Yeah, he was canceled for a while. Well,
I forgot what he did.
During that Me Too nonsense.
Was he like overly aggressive and stuff like that? I don't remember what he did, but I remember him being in trouble for it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Semper Fi, everybody. 19. Hold on a second. I got my little thing with a froggy. 1945, on this very day, the 28th Regiment of the 5th Marine Division reached the top of Mount Suribachi. And then the photographs of the Marines hoisting the flag. There were 2 shots by AP photographer Joe Rosenthal. The first one was a shot, and then the captain wanted that flag taken down, so they went up and took the flag down and put up another one so the captain could keep the flag. And there was the second one where they took the shots that made the publicity, and the families of the first photograph were all, well, you have to see the movie to find, but it's really an incredible story. Nobody knew that there were actually 2 photographs and that there was an issue, and it was really sad because one of the mothers said, "Oh my God, that's my son, that's my son." But then when they released the photograph, it was a different picture, and it wasn't her son, it was the other guy's. And so she said, "Well, I thought it was just horrible what happened because her son died." As most of them did. Anyway, the 28th Regiment was the 5th Marine Division. They were at Camp Penn when I was there. Camp Pendleton was the 5th Marine Division. It had been retired and brought back again recently, I think. Anyway, the photographs displaying the flag, the 2 shots, was the movie Flag of Our Fathers was a spectacular film, almost a hard movie to watch for in a lot of ways, especially when you consider the fate of Indian Ira Hayes, who wanted no part of this and was very upset by the treatment and what was going on and everything else. And Ira Hayes, the sad story, a terrible tragedy, he died in 1955 from exposure and alcohol poison. He was buried at Arlington National Cemetery, 32 years old. Ira Hayes died in 1955. Okay, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 354. Yes, sir.
Real quick, we got every Friday Susan on the horn, and she wants to chime in on Fani Willis.
Excellent. Every Friday, Susan. How you doing, baby? What's going on? Can you believe this woman? Can you believe this woman?
I actually can, because it's a combination of not just arrogance, but obviously stupidity. I read an article that she went, I think, to Emory Law School. And, the LSATs and, the MCATs for people to get into, Harvard and all the, the Columbia, the Ivy League schools, where the agents brought the lawsuit saying that they had to get, a perfect score, and the scores were lowered for black people.
Yeah.
And apparently the scores for Emory are so much lower than, Harvard or Columbia. So that tells you just really how bad her score must have been, which would be curious if we could get a copy of that, transcript. But the other thing is, for me, if I'm not mistaken, don't judges and attorneys and prosecutors, isn't that there's some sort of unspoken oath that they take where even if it's just a appearance of a conflict of interest, they're supposed to recuse or step down or and so this is not even an appearance anymore. I mean, this is hard evidence, and I just don't. Excuse me for that word, but I don't know how she could get away with this at this point.
She can't possibly get away with this. I can't believe that the Georgia Supreme Court hasn't called itself into session, if they're out of session, I assume, and said, "Okay, we got to handle this right now. This is ridiculous." I mean, geez.
And I'm trying to figure out what state office in Georgia would be the one that would prosecute her. What would be the state?
Well, that's a great question. The Supreme Court would have to rule, I think, whether or not she can be taken. Well, in fact, Flounder had. Didn't you say that the state Supreme Court? One of your lawyer buddies said the state Supreme Court would have to decide whether to censure her, whether she could be prosecuted. I'm not sure.
Actually criminally charging her as far as opening an investigation.
I think that's
the Attorney General.
Attorney General, State Attorney General, absolutely, yeah.
One more thing I saw today, I was watching CPAC live, and they were talking about Fani Willis. And do you remember from the 1980s when Gary Coleman was on Different Strokes?
Yeah, oh yeah.
A young child actor.
Yeah.
And what he would always say to his brother when he was upset with him.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yes, now I'm changing it to what you talking about, Fani Willis?
What you talking about, Fanny? I can't believe her. Thanks, sweetie. Everybody, Susan. I mean, really, the balls on this woman. I mean, think about it. She just lied. She obfuscated and deliberately lied and misled the court and misled the judge. When you are she's the Fulton County DA. And she deliberately misled the judge and lied under oath and acted like an uppity, I'm a victim, you big scumbag white supremacist, Stephen Sadow, for asking me tough questions about my lover. I mean, I can't believe it. I've never heard of anything so outrageous in my life of a prosecutor in one of the most important cases in the history of politics against a former sitting president.
This is what my lawyer friend said. So I had sent the link that there were new details about the phone messages, and one of my friends said she'll be fine. And then my lawyer friend came back and said, no way. She not only lied to the court, but continued to mislead.
Yeah.
That is about as grave an offense as misappropriation of client money. The Georgia Supreme Court makes the decision, not the Atlanta or Fulton County. She's toast.
There's no possible way.
But you can't prove what they were talking about in those text messages.
Well, no, that's true. But if they were staying overnight,
but it also shows that they lied under oath.
Well, I wonder what the text messages say. Like, boy, you were great last night. You really pounded me bad. You wrecked that thing. You wrecked that thing, you bastard. Stuff like that. I mean, come on.
Well, I'm telling you, some of these Jenga matches last for hours. You get caught up in it. You can't stop.
They could have been watching a marathon or something. I mean, texting back and
Jeopardy.
forth. Yeah, or cheaters.
He fell asleep on the couch.
He woke up and didn't want to be rude. Got to call her back. I mean, I can't believe it. Honestly,
he didn't want to. He didn't want to gnaw his arm off. Come on, wake her up.
And by the way, just very quickly before we break, President White Trash says the key to his marriage is good sex. And, of course, every time he says that, his wife, the doctor, complains about it when he makes his little dirty jokes to the staff about their private life. And says, man, I wrecked that chick last night, man. And she says, oh, yeah, he never stops. The man's a machine, I tell you. He's like an automaton. He's like one of those things that pounds the big sticks into the sand to protect the surf and stuff. It's unbelievable, a man. It's like a jackhammer, I'm telling you.
He's a human piston.
Yeah, just watch him walk. He looks like he's made out of an erector set. Oh, my God. Now he's falling down the baby steps on the plane. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Yeah, he's a real monster, all right. He is good sex with the cuckold queen, Jill the doctor.
Deep in her steaming nether regions.
Oh, boy. I don't know about you, but my nipples are hard as a rock right now. Just the visual alone. I may never eat again. Coming up at 4 o'clock already with a gibber bean flounder. Good Lord.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta Safe House.
Hoping for a big upset on Tom Graham, Fox News. White House hopeful Nikki Haley hoping to pull out her first primary win tomorrow in her home state of South Carolina. But the momentum is with her Republican rival. Fox's Mark Meredith is in Charleston.
The Haley campaign has been going to great lengths the last couple of days to insist that they are looking past South Carolina, that they know the odds are against them. We've seen the polls show former President Trump leading. Still, Haley says it's important for voters here to have their say.
If you will join with me in this movement, if you will join with me in this fight, I will spend every single day proving to you that you made a good decision.
Trump has locked up much of the support from the state's big names in the Republican Party, including South Carolina Senator Tim Scott.
We were better off under Trump.
There are 50 delegates up for grabs. It's a winner-take-all state. Trump right now, 63 delegates. Haley, 17.
Real Clear Politics polling has Trump up by 25 points. The former president urging a judge in Florida to dismiss his criminal case over his handling of classified documents. Trump's lawyers claim presidential immunity protects him from prosecution. President Biden addressed the National Association of Governors today as immigration remains on many state leaders' minds.
In this meeting, 34 governors showed up for the meeting with President Joe Biden, who was not here. Governor Greg Abbott, as well as Governor Ron DeSantis, were not here. But the president did address the elephant that was in the room here, and that was the border. The president doing it, making the case for the House to pass the negotiated Senate funding bill. A new Gallup poll shows that President Biden's approval rating just 38%. When you break that down into different areas, 67% of people disapprove of the way the president handles immigration. 61% disapprove of how he's handling the economy. An administration source tells me the president is thinking about executive action that would bar people from crossing illegally and then seeking asylum.
Fox's Edward Lawrence at the White House. America is listening to Fox News.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Your pet isn't just a pet, they're part of your family. Most of the pet food on the market is cooked at high temperatures, which kills nutrients. A scoop of Dynovite is a 3-in-1 daily supplement, adding back key nutrients to your pup's health. Try Dynovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at DINOVITE.com/radio. That's Dynovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynovite.
What a great song. What a great group. Bum, bum, bum. Dun, da, 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 da. It's kind of a good song. Not that I would remember this, but to dance to with like a new chick when you're just kind of starting out, because it's not so slow. A beginning, the beginning of a relationship chick. Because she could be nude at the time. Again, that's up to her. But because it's slow enough where it's a slow dance song, but it's fast enough where you shouldn't have to worry about you just sitting here holding her and hugging around the dance floor, and mauling her and stuff like fondling and stuff like that. Not that I shall never dance again, by the way, for the record. For all you Kimmer babes, because I got the Asian cheerleader night with a high heel contingent of the Kimmer fan club over this weekend for the auditions for the newcomers, and they no more dancing. After I was forced to take tango lessons, that's the ball game.
Grasshopper.
By the way, I never mentioned why we were playing the Temptations. Sorry, Flounder. Flounder goes through a lot of work. Our musical director. The Temptations. Melvin Franklin of the Temptations died on this day of a brain seizure. He was only 52 in 1995. They had the huge hits, Just My Imagination, My Girl. Let's see. In 1978, Melvin Franklin was shot in the hand and the leg trying to stop a guy from stealing his car. And then he died of a brain seizure 20 years later, almost 20 years later, 52. Temptations. All right, our birthday list today includes Kelly MacDonald, Margaret and the Widow Schroeder, Boardwalk Empire. That was a hot little role for her, a kinky kind of I was ridiculously kinky. But me likey. Kelly MacDonald, 48 today. She was Helena Ravenclaw in Harry Potter and the Deathly Gallows, or Hallows, I guess it is. And Merida, I suppose, the Scottish princess in Disney's Brave. Don't know anything about that, but Kelly MacDonald's 48. And let's see, Boardwalk Empire. I remember that very fondly. On this day in 1954, I remember these days too. School kids, 1954, this day got the first injections of the new polio vaccine developed by Dr. Jonas Salk. The kids were at the Arsenal Elementary School in Pittsburgh, 1954. And I still have my smallpox scratch scar on my shoulder.
Well, that's when we had real vaccines that had been tested for years before
vaccines.
They sprung them on the public.
Yeah. We were not all guinea pigs. It actually freaking worked. Oh, sorry. Whoever thought immune. That's right. And in fact, I heard the early guys, I think it was yesterday they were talking about this, or maybe it might have been today, I get confused. I got to stop this day drinking. Talking about how parents, and that we happen at our house too, if any kid in the neighborhood ever got chicken pox, all the mothers brought all the kids over, so they all got chicken pox, because you don't want to get it as an adult, especially if you're a girl. German measles, chicken pox, they can mess you up later on in life. And they used to have chicken pox parties. And you go to school with all the calamine lotion all over you and stuff like that. But again, they will bring them to the neighborhood, all show up at your house to make sure everybody got it. And then you were immune.
In fact, my memory of, we did the Lake Placid Miracle on Ice yesterday, right?
Yeah.
That was the anniversary of it.
Yeah.
I remembered that because I had been stupidly swinging like Tarzan on vines in our backyard in Stone Mountain. Unfortunately, the vines were some kind of poison sumac variety. And I head to toe, and I couldn't go to school. And I'm basically sitting in my room listening to records. My dad burst in the door and goes, "We just beat the Russians." And it hurt to get up off the floor because I was covered with these poison stuff.
Brutal. 407, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Let It Rip Friday. How's it going? Here's a phone number. We love phone calls. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. If you just joined us and don't know what's going on, Fanny the Floozy Willis just got caught in being a big fat liar. I can't imagine she's going to be able to stay on the case prosecuting Donald Trump or her lover, Wade. There's no possible way after 12,000 texts before, in 1 year, less than 1 year, 12,000 texts, and I've forgotten the number now. How many? Let's see, 35 visits, 12,000 text messages, and 2,000 voice calls in 11 months before she hired him, which is not what she testified to. She just got caught committing perjury. The record shows she committed perjury, and she's got to be taken off the case, and she ought to be charged. She ought to be actually, charged with a crime. What she did is not, she ought to lose her freaking law license. What she did in that courtroom to that judge and the whole process, oh, my God. Well, we'll see. Anyway, 408, your next president, Joe Crime Family. Well, obviously, he'll be reelected again. He is now in California praising Governor Newsom and making a joke at the same time. He praised Governor Stupidface, joking about Californians fleeing his state on a high-speed rail line. The National Governors Association speaking, he's not in California, he's at the White House meeting the Governors Association, my idiocy. We're building the nation's first high-speed rail line in California and Nevada, and I want to thank Governor Newsom for his leadership on that. And by the way, said President Stupidface, I'm not sure how many people who leave L.A. can do it in 2 hours to get there, or whether they're going to come back or not. Whether they're going to come back is going to flee. Oh, I don't think he might have liked that. They say you want to go from Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga. Yeah, train traveling almost 190 miles an hour. Joe Rogan thinks it's just speculation. It's all going to be that idiot Newsom from California. He's the worst governor of the worst state. They can't possibly put him up there. And by the way, and again, it's not my fault, and I'm bringing it up. His wife, can you imagine? Governor Newsom, because he looks like a presidential candidate, the people are going to vote for him. If he is elected president, the first lady will be the former starlet who blew mogul Harvey Weinstein away with her audition tape so he could get her jobs in Hollywood, and she was willing to do the old sodomy couch dance with Harvey Weinstein in order to further her career. That would be your first lady. How the hell could he even marry her? I wonder if he knew. I mean, honest to God, how could you marry a woman who was willing to give it up to that slimy bag of pus in order to promote her career in Hollywood? Oh, dear God. I'm sorry. I mean, I know. Well, forgive and forget. It's just she was trying to do good. Well, okay, fine. Again, I'll admit this. I'm the only guy in America who would say, I'm never going to marry you. I can't believe you did that. You have no morals. You're willing to do. And that with that guy? I mean, if it had been, I don't know, Brad Pitt and George Clooney, I would have said, okay, I can almost, you know what I mean? I can almost see where, poor girl, you weren't with me yet. I mean, you know what I mean? Okay. But Harvey, what? Jeez, I'm the only guy who would say I'm never going to marry you. I would never respect you, and I would think about you every time I looked at you. I'd think about what you were doing to him and what he was doing to. So that would be your first lady. In fact, that would be my commercial if I were doing a Republican commercial. Do you want her to be? Oh, yeah, that wouldn't go over too well, I don't think, probably. Anyway, I'm serious. I mean, can you imagine?
How could anyone who has run a state into the ground as he has even have, I mean, he has absolutely no morals or scruples or anything saying, I should be president. I've done such a great job.
It's an open state. We just did the other day, they showed 20,000 Chinamen have come into California in 1 month. 1 month. It's an open state. And by the way, they get free health care, and if they want a sex change, they get that for free in California. You know that the people are, the cities of Los Angeles and San Francisco, just look at them. Take a drive at anywhere in those cities, and you will be appalled. You'll be sick to your stomach. This is the same guy who had a kayaker arrested in the ocean for not wearing a mask.
Here's a paddleboarder.
Yeah,
and he's out there on his own, and they sent 40 people to get him.
Yeah, but they went out to get him. Went out to get him. I guess they were afraid he was going to flee to Cuba on his paddleboard, so they had to actually go get him instead of letting him come into shore. I mean, this is unbelievable. I'm sorry I didn't shoot him. God. I mean, this is California. I mean, I hope they run him. I hope to God they run him.
Well, you know what the motto of the LAPD is?
Well, what's that?
We treat you like a king.
Rodney or otherwise, I'm guessing. I got 4:30 coming up on 4:13. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. By the way,
I have the T-shirt.
There you go. I think Donald Trump may be about to address a crowd in South Carolina on the eve of the primary tomorrow. If he goes live, we'll take a little bit of it and we'll talk some more. And plus, Flounder's Funny coming back, and Holy Crap at Sports later, and all that good stuff with it. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Let her rip Friday. Let's have some fun. Look out.
time for the Boortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast's premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
Okay, let's get a little edgy today. Get all the people spinning around on their eyebrows, jumping up and down and yelling, racist. I'm sure you've noticed the post-George Floyd era on television, especially commercials. In most TV commercials, if you have three people engaged in something, three ladies walking through the park, whatever, one of them must be black. It's a new rule, apparently. And according to TV commercials, at least a third, if not a half, of all couples in America are black male, white wife. But this all pales in comparison to what's happening on Google with Google's AI search function. They call it the Google AI chatbot Gemini, and it don't get no woker than Gemini. The New York Post ran a little bit of a test Wednesday of this week. They asked Gemini to create an image of a pope. Now, there have been 266 popes. Every single one of them has been a white male. But Google's Gemini created an image of a black pope. How about an image of our founding fathers in 1789, Gemini? Why 1789? That's when they signed the Constitution. The Google-generated image of our founders in 1789 featured individuals who were either black or Native Americans gathered there signing the Constitution. What's more, it had an image of George Washington as a black man. Google says it wasn't meant to be this way, but try this. Try to get Gemini to create an image of a white male. Seriously, give it a try. Neil Boortz, Extra 106.3.
Hey homeowners, Tug here with some exciting news. Southern Exteriors is your one-stop solution for top-notch exterior services, from roofing to siding, windows, gutters, and more. No more waiting. They can start on your project immediately. And with an in-house warranty division, Southern Exteriors stands by their work for years to come. From leaky roofs to faded siding, trust Southern Exteriors for a quick and lasting transformation. Don't wait. Transform your home today. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co now. Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years.
Introducing Sonder Health Plans, your trusted local partner for Medicare Advantage in Georgia. Only in Georgia. With Sonder, you'll get comprehensive coverage that's tailored to your needs. They offer $0 primary care visits, $0 premiums, and access to a wide network of Georgia healthcare providers. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com now to learn more about their valued-based care that won't break the bank. Or call 888-428-4440. Sonder Health Plans, your doctors, your neighbors, your friends.
Neil Boortz here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, cpapsetc.com.
True Prep on Cobb Parkway is your one-stop shop for emergency preparedness supplies, including freeze-dried food, water filtration, first aid, and more. They also have a large selection of firearms, including a huge selection of AR-15s, firearm accessories, and ammo at the lowest prices around. They are locally owned and operated. You can visit their store in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or online at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
Is this the year you want to grow your business? Do you want to expand your team? Build a new office? Hey, it's Tug, and I want to tell you about First Liberty Building and Loan. Aren't you exhausted by going to lenders, building a relationship, and a week later, you're dealing with a new person? You won't have to with First Liberty Building and Loan. The Frost family has been helping businesses grow since the 90s, and they can help you too. They know the patterns, they know the ebbs and flows, and they know business. Now the Frost family wants to know you. FirstLibertyGA.com. Buying a building, building a building, buying a franchise, or expanding. Reach out and spend 10 minutes with them. See if you're a fit for them and if they're a fit for you. FirstLibertyGA.com. By the way, if you're a young banker and you want to work with a team that's faith-friendly with a culture of excellence, First Liberty might be a good match. Reach out to First Liberty Building and Loan at FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the podcast park. See you around, Atlanta.
Well, Michael, I want to thank you for your time, but unfortunately, we can't offer you the position.
Why?
Well, we got the results of your background check, and quite frankly, we were concerned.
About what?
Apparently, you were arrested for throwing a shopping cart at a customer?
In my defense, he had it coming.
At Horizon Background Screening, we find things that other companies don't. That's why companies that use us make smarter hiring decisions. Don't let the wrong hire put your company at risk. Get the real story on your candidates at horizonscreening.com.
Notice how I didn't talk over that. I love that intro. I mean, I'm really not nuts about the song, just because it's kind of jazzy, and I'm not really a jazz guy. But that riff, man, wasn't that voted like one of the greatest riffs of all time or something?
Should be.
Beginning of Stevie Wonder's Suspicion, or whether man, what a great riff on a guitar.
That's not the guitar. That's the clavicle. It's a keyboard. The intro.
No kidding. Oh, really? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Electric keyboard? I'll be damned.
The clavicle is a bone.
Yeah, the bone in your shoulder is your clavicle.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is that? Clavinet.
Clavinet, yeah.
Clavinet.
The clavicle. I know he could do that with his fingers.
So close.
On the shoulder bone. I just kind of anyway. Well, I'll be damned. I remember.
Yeah, listen.
So it's a keyboard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's got the same kind of twang as a guitar string. Anyway, I mean, I like it. Whatever it is, I like it. And I remember when all of a sudden electric pianos came out and electric organs and stuff on rock and roll
Moog.
stuff. Yeah, the Moog synthesizer. And his name was Moog, the guy's name who invented it. Anyway, that was Stevie Wonder. 1985, old Stevie was arrested during an anti-apartheid demonstration outside the South African embassy in Washington. He was beaten severely and had his legs cut off because of white men. No, he was let go. They didn't do anything.
He was actually in front of the Belgian embassy.
He had no idea. Yeah, he was ordering something from Wendy's, and they said, sorry. Yeah, guy walks into the doctor's office and tells the nurse, he says, I'm invisible. And the nurse goes to the doctor, the guy out here says he's invisible. The doctor said, well, tell him I can't see him now. Anyway, hey-ho. Our birthday list includes a naughty little Kristen Davis, Charlotte on Sex and the City. Brunette of them all. Kristen Davis is 59. Wow. That was that Sex and the City finger. And let's see, on this day in history, it had never been done before on network television. 1997, this day, the movie Schindler's List was shown with no commercials and with no censorship on the brutality of that movie. And he did it in black and white because it never would have survived in color. It would have been too gruesome, I think, is what his original thought was. Saving the Jews and the factories and the heroes. And I remember when I've only seen it once. It's been on more than that, but I remember seeing it once. Again, it was 97 when it came on. No commercials and no censorship. And I remember at the end, was it the end where they had all the people walking in with the stones and showing the thing at the tribute? I mean, that was pretty damn powerful, I got to tell you.
Yes, it was.
That was a hard movie, man.
But again, this is it's real. It was there, and it's legit. I'm glad I saw it, and I'm glad it was out there. Well done. Hold on, Roswell Tim, be right with you. This hour, it's 4:23. This hour sponsored by our friends at Atlanta Safe House. We're home of the Kimmer safes. You need a safe, you just don't know it. The Kimmer learned this lesson the hard way. Learn more. They have a showroom in Ackworth. Learn more at atlantasafehouse.com. Now, Roswell Tim of the Roswell Tims. Yes, Pete. Pete had a thing first.
Just the Jerry Seinfeld thing where he was caught making out during Schindler's List.
Oh, yeah. You were making out during Schindler's List? It's his mother. Hey, Roswell Tim, you're on the radio, man. How's it going?
It's good, Kimmer. Hello to you and all the crew. And just wanted to say on our girl Fanny, who the vernacular would fit would be collard green girl Fanny. All she needs to do is put in an emergency call to Hillary and borrow that rag and that bleach to wipe all of those cats down.
Yeah, there you go.
And then wait on the depression to sit in on Wade so that he meets an untimely demise before he turns state 70.
Wouldn't that be great if they try to turn one of them against another to try to tell what really happened, Oh, man, what a scandal. I mean, we're the freaking laughing stock. And again, Roswell Tim, I can't believe the balls on this woman to think she could just be so uppity and so much a victim. And twice in churches, she's gone to the podium in the pulpit in churches to complain that she's a racist, a victim of racism and womanhood, and it's not fair, and which is the worst thing that someone like that could do to the true cause of racism and victimhood and so forth. Just appalling. Tim, I don't know about you. You live in Roswell, then you're a Fulton County resident. How'd you like to be, do you have a lot of confidence in our judicial system in Fulton County these days?
Absolutely none.
Unbelievable. Hey, be careful out there, man. Glad you called. Happy Friday. Let her rip anything goes. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. And again, if you just joined us, I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the program, scared me to death last night going home. And again, I'm really a little anal here, but I want to help you in this area because this scared the crap out of me and it was very unusual. So I'll be very specific in the location for people who are driving in and around Cobb County near the Battery. When I left here, I went north on Powers Ferry Road near the Battery, and then took a right and went east on Terrell Mill, okay? People who know the area know that Terrell Mill is a major road, 4 lanes, 5 lanes in some parts, and it has turn lanes, and its speed limit's 45 and 40 miles an hour the whole way. Well, last night I was going east, and it was past the Indian Trail intersection, for those who may know the area, and I'm being specific because here's why. It was dark, very, very dark, having headlights on, driving 40 miles an hour, traffic there, and all of a sudden a deer appeared out of nowhere in front of my left headlight. I swerved and glanced blowed another deer right behind her who bounced off my right fender. And
you did what to her?
No, but I mean, they come in twos. Sorry, ladies, but I mean, they almost always come in packs of 2 or at least 2. And sure enough, and by the way, I was doing 40, and there was traffic. It wasn't really crowded, but there was traffic. So bright lights, speeding cars on a major roadway, and deer are bounding across that major roadway with lights and brights and all those cars and everything. I couldn't believe it. And again, I couldn't see it. All of a sudden, I see a deer in my left headlight. And I swerved to hit the brakes, and boom, I felt the boom, and there was another one kind of glancing blow, thank God, off my right fender and took off. So there was I didn't run over her or anything like that, but scared the crap out of me. And again, if you're in Cobb County, in Marietta, in this area near the ballpark, even on busy roadways at night, pitch black, it was 7 o'clock, I couldn't believe it. So be careful. God.
Just for elucidation here.
Yes.
Describe again this glance blow. What does that mean?
Well, that was my old anchorman. Good evening, everyone. Here's the news. Glance Blow reporting.
Glance Blow.
Honest to God, I used to goof around once in a while. I was doing anchorman stuff just like an idiot, just to see if anybody catch it. I used to put fake names on towns and stuff.
That's next time I go to a hotel. I'm signing in as Glance Blow.
Glance Blow. You can get away with it depending on how you say it. You know,
glance blow, private.
428. Can repeat. Let's do a flounder. We have a Flounders Funny back there. Are you around? There he goes. Can we do a Flounders Funny? Let's do a Flounders Funny. What the hell? 428.
Absolutely. Here, let me get it set up here.
All right. Didn't mean to throw you a curve there, offhand, but I'm talking too much. I want to rest up for my dinner later. Popcorn chicken and...
I saw this story down in Orange County, California. This guy gave helicopter tours. 30 years without incident. Hands the business off to his son. The American dream. I built it up for 30 years. Here you go, son. Make the family and the family name proud. All right, Dad, I love you. Right? This poor kid, 5 days in. He's supposed to give a tour to a couple. Only the dude shows up. The kid thought it was weird, but he's like, I need the money. I got to give him a tour. Right? So he takes this guy up. 10 minutes into the tour, the dude jumped out. Yeah. 5 days later, this kid, he probably barely had the speech down. Just sitting there flying the helicopter. All right, if you look out the left side of the aircraft, that's Orange County. There's over 27 miles of beaches. Put your seatbelt back on. 27 miles of beaches. Was established as a county in 1903. Sir, please don't open the door. Sir, what are you doing? No, don't! What the f***? Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Oh, my God!
That was Bill Burr. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever known. His stand-up routines. You can't do enough Bill Burr. Oh, mercy. Already coming up on 4:30. Pete's Tweets. We got stuff coming up. Holy crap, it's sports later. And we make Donald Trump's about to speak in South Carolina. If he does in the next, we'll take a few seconds of it if he comes back. With Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Let it rip Friday. Join us, will you? Have a little fun. Look out.
Live and local every morning. It's the Morning Extra with Tug, Rhino, and Los.
Every guy that works there is just sweaty and obviously on marijuana. So
on marijuana. That sounds like something my mama would have said.
Yeah. They're on marijuana. They're high as a kite.
He just turned into a 60-year-old man.
They're on that devil's lettuce. Make it. I don't want none of that devil's lettuce in my burrito.
Smoking them drugs.
Those boys in there are on the marijuana.
Anytime you put the in front of it, it is, I mean, that is...
Marijuana.
Or hit it like that. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That wacky weed.
Oh, that ganja, they call it.
That's what they say.
Can't get my order right. I have to keep telling them over and over.
All them workers are on Satan's seed.
That's right. I'm telling you.
But I will say I get more chips when that guy is high. So many chips.
I can usually smell it on him.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. every weekday morning on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. Well, at RBM of Atlanta, we embody this philosophy. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for the required service. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2023 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience and Georgia's only 9-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best winner. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor for details.
I think it's time to get rid of that old, ugly garage door.
Get rid of it? All it needs is a quick repair. Where's my duct tape and WD-40?
This is Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors, and let us be the ones to tell you if you need a repair or a replacement. If you have a wooden or uninsulated steel door, a replacement will always pay for itself with energy savings. But if your door is insulated and not very old, put down the duct tape and let us come out to service your door the right way. Head to allfourseasonsgarages.com or give us a call today.
At the Piedmont Bank, we're proud to be one of Georgia's largest community banks, focusing on serving businesses and the communities they serve. With headquarters right here in Metro Atlanta, our tailored banking expertise and solutions help meet the diverse needs of our customers so they have what it takes to grow, expand, and thrive. It's what elevates us above the rest. Find a location near you at Piedmont.bank and experience elevated banking for you and your business. The Piedmont Bank. Banking elevated. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Hey there, it's Janelle King, host of The Janelle King Show, right here on Extra 106.3 FM, where we are unafraid and unapologetic. We explore the topics that matter the most. You can catch us on Saturdays at 4 p.m. and encore episode on Sundays at 9 a.m. And catch up on past episodes by going to the podcast park right here at Extra 106.3 or wherever you get your podcast every single Tuesday. Until then, stay unafraid, stay unapologetic, and never stop seeking the truth.
A new Braves season is around the corner, and tickets are on sale. The Braves' home schedule is jam-packed with great matchups, including the Texas Rangers in April, Red Sox in May, and Phillies in July. Plus, you better get your tickets now for when Shohei and the Dodgers head to Truist Park in September. 2024 will also be more amazing gate giveaways, like the Ronald Acuna Jr. bobblehead trio commemorating his record-breaking season. Replica chain giveaways featuring Michael Harris II and Orlando Arcia, a City Connect replica jersey, and the list goes on. Visit Braves.com/promos to see all of the amazing giveaways throughout the season and purchase your tickets. And fan favorite specialty ticket packages are back in 2024, including the Military Appreciation, Father's Day Catch on the Field, Star Wars, and more. Visit Braves.com/packages to see these special packages and the exclusive items that come along with your game ticket. Atlanta Braves baseball for the A.
Hi, I'm Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly, Cobb's premier lifestyle magazine, serving our community for nearly 20 years. We feature familiar faces, local voices, and community businesses. Our Town Monthly is a direct mail publication, bringing community news to the mailbox of your potential customers. If you're a business owner looking to grow sales and build your brand, let us help. We have a robust portfolio of advertising and marketing products to showcase your business. Reach out. Let's chat. And if you're one of our valued readers, thank you for being part of the Our Town community. I hope you find our magazine entertaining, informative, and a great resource. Our contributors are a talented group working hard to provide engaging content. If you love our free magazine, please support our advertisers. They make it all possible and are eager to help earn your business. There's so much going on in Our Town. Don't miss out. Find us online at OurTownMonthly.com. And remember, Our Town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
All right, look out. Donald Trump is speaking, and we'll go to him in a second here for a couple of minutes. You want to tune in and see what he's doing? I'm looking at the picture. Here's Donald Trump in South Carolina. You know what he's going to say.
Aim toward a time called November 5th. That's what we need, November 5th.
But we may come back. I'm sorry, Flounder. Go ahead and do your music thing here with our buddies at U2. The reason I mention it, it's kind of funny. If you're seeing the picture, in his immediate background are all kids. There's two young girls with Trump hats and
pushing that younger vote.
Yeah, and the guy, and there's a kid who's probably an 18-year-old white kid. There's a young black kid, and a couple older people in the back. But there's it's kids. Young kids behind him on the. That's all you see on the podium with him on the podium as youngsters.
No trannies,
as far as we know. Anyway, this is U2, and in God, I'm just thinking there. 1980, U2 appeared at the Moonlight Club at the Railway Hotel in London. The tickets were $3. During the year, up-and-coming Irish band played many pub and club gigs in London, including the Half Moon, Herney Hill. There were 12 people listening. The Marquee, Hope and Anchor, the 101 Club, Rock Garden, and so many more. U2, wherever they could get a gig. Hey, that shows they wanted to make it, and the Beatles, if I remember correctly, and you know this a lot more than I do, but really learned how to do a concert performance in Germany. They were basically practicing in Europe before they came over to America.
Hamburg.
Yeah. 437 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And our birthday list includes Howard Jones, the singer, 69 today. What is love, 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 love? Was that the song they did for the SNL when they made Gilda Radner a sandwich? And they were trying, the two guys, me, you, her, me, and they were bumping back together, trying to dance with her and squeezing her together. It was some song.
I think that was that song came after Gilda Radner was on SNL.
That could be. Yeah, in fact, you're probably right. 80s singer. Yeah, it makes sense. Howard Jones, 69. What is love? Life in one day. Things can only get better. No one is to blame. That was another one of his famous ones. Anyway, happy birthday, Howard. And on this day in history, 1927, the day the Federal Radio Commission assigned frequencies, hours of operation, and the power allowed for radio broadcasters. Otherwise, the overlap and bounce of the signals would have been a nightmare. In fact, it was for a while, and in fact, it may still be. I don't know whether, I assume they probably changed it now. But by the way, for the record, in case this is any interest to you, one of the reasons they had to restrict the signal power was because AM signals can bounce off the ionosphere and go all over the country if the power's strong enough. That's why they call them clear channel radio stations. I used to work for one. So anyway, and the reason is because an AM signal, for the record, the reason FM stations don't have that problem is because the FM signal that goes out from your transmitter is small. It's a short wave, and so it goes right through the ionosphere. When the atmosphere of the ionosphere lowers at nighttime. It gets lower. And so the FM signals being broadcast are little tiny signals, and they just go right through it. AM signals, the AM signal wave is a long, curvy thing. And so when it goes flying up to the ionosphere, it bounces because it doesn't all fit through at one point. So it can bounce off the ceiling of the ionosphere and bounce into another region, which is why I worked for a radio station that could be heard in Chicago and Milwaukee at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, okay. One of the reasons we had to turn it down because Castro was trying to overblow our radio stations down in Florida and everything, so we had to do that. But when I was working at that station we used to work at, one night when I was doing my nighttime show, some guy called up. And remember, we had to power down at sundown.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
And this guy called up about 9 o'clock and said, I'm really enjoying your show. I've never heard it before. I said, oh, great. Where are you? He goes, I'm a little north of you. I said, where's it? You up in the mountains or Tennessee or something? He goes, no, I'm in Milwaukee. And Miller was in another room. He goes, oh, my God, he forgot to power down. We were broadcasting up and down the eastern seaboard to the Midwest. We were everywhere.
Well, the problem is that there's another frequency assigned to that same number that you have in another state. So, if we have 106.3, there could be another 106.3 in Wyoming, and in New Mexico and in Maine. And there could be a lot of them. And so that's why they have to specifically have a pattern so you don't overlap. Otherwise, and by the way, remember, I'll bet you this happened when you were in San Diego. I remember when I was in California, XERB over Los Angeles. It was from Mexico. The Mexican radio station played Wolfman Jack. That's where Wolfman Jack got famous, from XERB over Los Angeles. The X.
ZZ Top heard it on the X. That's right. Where they grew up the music.
The Mexican radio station. Yeah.
FAMA, Baja California, Mexico.
Yeah,
the best station was over the border.
And the reason was they blasted as strong as they wanted. They got 100,000 watts. They don't care. And nobody's going to make them stop. So that's how Wolfman Jack was heard all over the place on XERB over Los Angeles. I'll never forget listening to that. Oh, my God. Oh, by the way, a couple of quick things here. Well, I forgot I was going to do. I got a note here from the Lewd Man. It says, hey, Kimmer, thank God about the fuss about the short zippers. I fuss about them all the time. I expect the manufacturers probably save a couple of pennies on each pair, but what a pain. And I'm telling you, you'll see, guys will know this. Guys know this, where when they pull down the zipper, and it's only on jeans. It's not like I'm wearing Dockers. I'm wearing tan slacks. They're not a problem. They have a long zipper. Everything's fine. You can do your business. But on jeans, they make them very short. I guess because they think they look better. But they don't. You have to put Pete Davis is. You're the only. Well, you don't wear jeans. When's the last time you put on a pair of jeans? You wear those, camouflage pants or something.
Okay, I've worn jeans specifically for the last 3 years.
Well, okay, the Lewd Man and I are the only guys who have never have had the thing. The jeans have very small zippers. Maybe it's only the brands I buy. I don't know. But whatever. Anyway, so he supported me, and I'm glad to see that.
Don't act like you don't check out my butt every chance.
Oh, please. Yeah, that's what I do. All right. Yow. 442. Okay, we're going to talk love. Now, that guy who made the email, we're going to talk love, and he's not going to like it. By the way, I got 2 more emails I got to get to, too. I'll get to this shortly after that. And I'm definitely going to talk about Farmer Needs a Wife. Farmer Wants a Wife. Okay, first of all, there was a former running back named Tyler Gaffney. I don't know who that is, but he's got a hot wife whose name is Kristen. Kristen is a podcaster doing something called Barely Filtered. And she is now appearing on Outkick and various things like that. And she's calling out the hypocrisy of the left pushing down men, the same people who can't define what a woman is. She says, we keep pushing men down, and men are so amazing. They literally built this country. The buildings, the electricity, those are 98% jobs by men. So why are we pushing these men down? We can still thrive. We can still be amazing and have amazing opportunity, but we don't need to bring other groups of people down at the same time. Others of the show saying men and women should embrace our differences, support each other instead of dragging each other down. We're women, they're men. We all have our own strengths and weaknesses. We should embrace that and support that. She added, my husband is a feminist's worst nightmare. But to me, it's the most attractive thing in the world. But guess what? If, God forbid, something happens, who am I calling? I'm calling a man to protect me. By the way, this Kristen chick is a Sports Illustrated model. She wore a MAGA purse to the Super Bowl party earlier. Women like that, ladies, it doesn't mean we disrespect you if you look up to us as men and strong and masculine and protectors and things. Doesn't mean we demean you because of that. In fact, we praise you. We'll do anything for you. It doesn't take anything for a woman to make a man feel like a freaking man that once in a while, it's maybe good for us. Instead of the other way, instead of emasculating us, for God's sakes. Make us feel, oh, you big, strong man, thank God you're here. I feel so much better when I know you're here to protect me. We'll kill for you. We'll do anything for you. We'll run over your grandmother on a sidewalk if you want us to. My God, woman. Oh, Jesus.
That leads to that story. That other story there. For 30 years, feminists have told us that there's no difference between men and women, and now we have proof there is.
Here it is. It's a study from Stanford University solving a long-term controversy about whether there are sex differences in the brain. Previous studies showed there are differences in how men and women think, women proving to have stronger memory and language skills, men found to be funnier and have better direction skills. That's kind of generalizations. Well, men's brains are actually a 10th bigger than women's on average, but that doesn't align with intelligence. Now, here's what they say. For example, in humor, they did a study, psychologists studying people. They measured participants' humor and behavior, shown cartoons, asked to write a funny caption, ranked responses. It showed that men were rated 63% above average of the humor ability of women, which is a small to medium difference. It doesn't mean men are always funnier than women, but it suggests a result of evolution, women valuing men with a great sense of humor as a sign of intelligence, crucial for survival when humans were primarily hunters and gatherers. And a woman seeing that as a sign of intelligence, she would want to be linked to that. Female comedians dismiss the study as unnecessary, but who knows? Okay, rationality. I'll get some of these later. A couple more left. Rationality. Historically, women are being labeled as less rational. In fact, it says here after the study at Stanford, men who science suggests are less logical are more likely to make extreme decisions. They offered a hypothetical sum of money and asked how you would spend it differently and what you would do and so forth, risking stuff like that, giving to another person all the various choices. Men were more likely to make extreme choices than women, according to the results. Men would invest money in risky lottery, donate none of the money to charity, share it with nobody. Study authors say the men were much more likely than women to be at the extreme ends of behavioral spectrum, acting selfishly or altruistically, either trusting or distrusting, but it was at either end of it, as opposed to women who tend to be more planners and a little more careful. Anyway, stuff like the brains react differently. And I guess there's a lot of ways you can try to figure it out. We'll talk about directions and memory, languages, skills, emotions. Oh, that's going to be a good one. Emotions. Make it easier for women to process emotions, understand other people's intentions because of what happens in your cerebrum. Oh, coming up with the Kimmer Pete. I love talking about the Cerebrum Room, baby. 447, Let It Rip Friday. Anything goes.
Atlanta radio legends are right here on Extra 106.3. And here's what you missed from Neil Boortz.
We don't allow children to drive until they're 16 years old. Why not? They don't have the judgment to drive. Really ought to be 18 years old. We don't allow people to drink until they're 21. Why not? They don't have the judgment to know when they're drinking too much and how to handle that alcohol. Why is it that we recognize the need for judgment and rational thinking in some areas, driving and drinking, but not in others?
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
If it's time to buy a new car, what are you looking for? Price? Sure, that's easy. Anyone can offer you a good price, but not everyone cares about your community as much as we do. At Subaru of Gwinnett, there's a lot to love. You'll love our staff, our service department, the entire experience. Because at Subaru of Gwinnett, it's about way more than buying a car. It's investing in your community and loving the people you do it with. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, come in for a test drive and find great offers on the 2024 Subaru Outback or the model that best fits your lifestyle. And yes, we check a lot of boxes: safety, value, and of course, loving what you drive. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com and find the ride that best suits you. Learn about our incredible staff and find out how your next purchase will benefit your community. We promise you'll love it, because love is what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Subaru of Gwinnett, Satellite Boulevard in Duluth, and online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Hey, it's Lowe's for Exmark and Howard Brothers. Believe it or not, spring is right around the corner, and the folks at Howard Brothers are gearing up for it. If you need a mower in 2024, Howard Brothers and Exmark have it for you. Exmark mowers aren't just for green industry pros. There's an Exmark for all of us. The Quest, Radius, Laser, zero-turn mowers that will ensure that your yard work isn't hard work. Learn more at howardbrothers.com/Exmark. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Exmark and Howard Brothers.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now, the security riddle of the day. What's less secure than a fake safe from a furniture or big box store? Joe Biden's fake border policy, of course. But hey, there is good news. This time next year, Joe Biden will not be president. So drop right at Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Build a wall around your valuables with a safe from the Safe House. We have certified delivery crews to install your safe. With over 30 years in the safe business, the Safe House is the place to buy safe in Georgia. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
It's a mad world out there, but one thing is certain, everyone is trying to market something. So tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. to the Marketing Madmen, who, along with a variety of industry expert guests, can help you make sense of it all. Whether you own a business and want tips to scale, or are a fan of the finer things in life and want to know how restaurants, golf courses, and wine companies try to sell you stuff, the Marketing Madmen is your ultimate destination for all things marketing. Tune in right here on Extra 106.3 every Saturday at 3 p.m. or search online for more content. Join the madness with the Marketing Madmen.
Witness the new era of Georgia Tech men's basketball under the guidance of their new head coach, NBA great Damon Stoudemire. Coach Stoudemire has brought the excitement back to the Thriller Dome, and you can be a part of it. Don't miss the next home game presented by R.S. Andrews when Florida State visits McCamish Pavilion on Saturday, March 2nd at noon. Great seats are still available for purchase, and you can get more information at ramblinwreck.com. Hurry up and grab your tickets to experience the thrill and excitement of Georgia Tech basketball. Sting 'em.
451. How you doing? Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. AC/DC. They shot the video for A Long Way to the Top on this day in 1976. It featured the band's then current lineup along with members of the Rats or of Tobruk pipe band on the back of a flatbed truck traveling on Swanston Street in Melbourne. And in May in 2001, Australia Asian Performing Rights Association celebrated 75 years by naming the best Australian songs of all time, decided by a 100-member industry panel. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, ranked as the 9th best song on this list. AC/DC. So there you go. And let's see. On our I almost lost the phone thing. Our birthday list includes Patricia Richardson. She was Tim Allen's wife on Home Improvement. Jill Taylor. Patricia Richardson, 73 today. I have a couple of sports birthdays coming up here, too. With Pete Davis, Holy Crap at Sports in about 25 minutes. And also on this day, 1836. Talk about the definition of courage. Knowing you're in for it, and you saddle up anyway. The siege of the Alamo begins. They knew they were doomed. And the story of Davy Crockett, whether he went down swinging or not, a lot of people have a different version. I remember seeing on the Davy Crockett at the Alamo from primetime TV shows in the 50s. Disney made Davy Crockett the last defender atop the wall, clubbing attackers dead or senseless with Old Betsy. His flintlock rifle, the screen faded and credits rolled. Remember, his name was Old Betsy. God, Fess Parker, Davy Crockett. I had a coonskin cap. We all did, man. Every one of us had a coonskin cap watching that stupid TV show. It wasn't stupid. I loved it. There was a book that came out about heroes of American history. 1885, Crockett, the last man standing, but he and 3 or 4 others retreat in battle to an inner building when the Mexicans stormed the Alamo at the end, where a desperate hand-to-hand conflict followed. Colonel William Travis, the commander, was among them. So was James Bowie, who was sick and weak from a wasting disease, but who rallied... Jim Bowie, the Bowie knife, who rallied all of his strength to die fighting, and who, in the final struggle, slew several Mexicans with his revolver and with his big knife, the Bowie knife, of the kind to which he had been given his name. Then these fell too, and the last man stood at bay. It was old Davy Crockett. Wounded in a dozen places, he faced his foes with his back to the wall, ringed around by the bodies of the men he had slain. Crockett fought desperately. He wrote beating back Mexican soldiers until none dared close with their lances. They held him at bay until he lost so much blood that he couldn't break through their line. The author continued, the musketeers loaded their carbines and shot him down. General Santa Anna declined to give him mercy. Some say Davy Crockett fell from his wounds. He was taken alive and then shot by Santa Anna's order. His fate cannot be told with certainty, for not a single American was left alive. Yet they died well avenged, for 4 times their number fell in their hands in that battle. Wow. And I read one book about this years ago when I was a kid, and it said that they had, when they were alive, before they were killed, they had asked to be buried, and they were not. They were just left to rot in the sand. The Alamo started today on this day in history. 4:55. I've done more about this study about men's and women's brains. Just a couple things that might be of interest. In terms of memory, the battle of the sexes, women have long argued that their memory is better. Research suggests they're right. Women outperform men on all tests. Of course, I've realized many, many years ago that women's memory is so good that sometimes they'll remember stuff that hasn't even happened yet. Sorry. Sorry. Well, they did but trust me on this, okay? The ability to recall everyday events and executive function, skills needed to plan, focus, and remember tasks, as well as other markers of cognition. By the way, this study was done in the journal Menopause, showing women scored better than men in every single test. Well,
you buried the lead here.
Which is?
Basically, that men have a better sense of direction.
Well, we haven't really gotten to that one yet. In fact, I think that's my
that's why we don't ask your opinion on where we're going.
Well, I hadn't gotten there yet.
Because we know where we're going.
Yes, well, then let's do that. All right, well, let me do emotions, and then we'll do a direction. Okay, I'm running out of time. Let's do this all. Women have long been considered the most expressive gender. On the other hand, men have been typically painted as emotionally unaware of how others feel, and there's some truth to both comments. The cortex was much more connected in the brain between the left and right sides of the brain in women. That link would encourage communication between parts of the brain involved in analytical and verbal tasks, okay? Connected left and right sides of the brain. In men, that makes it easier for women to process emotions and understand other people's intentions and emotions. Now, men had links between their cerebellum and the cortex on the opposite side of the brain, which makes it easier for men to coordinate movement. For example, I'll never forget, we could prove this the first time I could unsnap a bra with one hand. Now, by the way, that was an enormous accomplishment. You remember the first time you could unsnap a bra while you're kissing her? One hand. Ladies, I'm sorry, but that was a major achievement. I mean, when and sometimes if she's in a good mood, she'll laugh about it and compliment you or something. I don't know. I don't remember. Directions navigating a still lost best performed by men. Well, studies say there's some truth to the claims that men slightly outperform women on spatial navigation tasks. They collected data, spatial navigation abilities, distance traveled from home. If evolution's at play, the sex traveled further from home would have had better navigational skills, and that would be men. Men were the hunters. The women stayed home to take care of stuff. The men went out to hunt and do stuff to save the family. So they were out all the time. They were better navigating the females. They had to do that to survive, to get stuff to bring home. Even though some females traveled further from home in some of the tests in modern-day society, it led to conclude that finding us down that boys being encouraged to play outside more than girls over the years of gender and bringing up children and so forth had made them better at mapping their surroundings. Now, I, on the other hand, am all girl when it comes to directions. I never know where I am. I can get lost so freaking easily. I would call Flounder. I'd say, is it the second turn or the left of the... I mean, my golf buddies would laugh at me because before Waze, oh my God, I'd have to call Danny. Dan, is it a left on Old Milton or... honest to God, it was... And I get lost. If I have to take a detour, I'm screwed. Because if I get turned around, I have to make two lefts and then a right, I have no idea where I was. I can't help it. My father was exactly the opposite. He knew by the minutes, the latitude and longitude where he was at any minute. Great pilots know that, not me.
Hand me your man card right now.
I know, I'm sorry. It's the truth. I have to. I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. I tell you, I lasted all these years with the name of Kim, and people call me Kimmy. Yeah, the only call me as a freaking girl when she's putting her tongue in my mouth. I can tell you that right now. Me Kimmy. I show my man card. Here's my man card right here. Here it is right here. Hey, congratulations, YouTube. Seeing a Kimmer's man card. There you go. Yeah. Look out. Coming up at 5 o'clock. Oh, my God. I got to stop this day drinking.
This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta on Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.
Spotlight on South Carolina. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. South Carolina's Republican primaries tomorrow, and if the polls are to be believed, former President Donald Trump way ahead of his lone challenger and the former governor of that state, Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley sees the polls. She told Fox's America's Newsroom she doesn't have to win her home state tomorrow to stay in the race.
But it certainly has to be better than what I did in New Hampshire, and it certainly has to be close.
She accused former President Trump of talking incessantly about his legal issues. Trump told a Fox News town hall this week the legal cases against him are forms of election interference.
Nikki has no chance, but if she ever did, they would go after her the same way.
But Haley was asked why she can't seem to stop Trump, whose numbers seem to rise with every legal filing or appearance.
Just wait. March, April, May, June.
The months, she says, when the former president will be stuck in courtrooms. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott.
What we need now is to be very clear. Any other day after tomorrow, talking about Republican primaries is a day wasted not talking about Joe Biden.
Well, a handful of governors at the White House today with the border at the center of discussions. Edward Lawrence of the Fox Business Network. He's at the White House with more.
The governor's feeling the financial squeeze of caring for some of these migrants. Now, President Joe Biden addressing the elephant in the room by pushing the Senate compromised package.
Folks, doing nothing is not an option. Compromise is part of the process. I didn't get everything I wanted in that deal. We didn't deal with dreamers. We didn't do a number of things I think we should do.
Some blue state governors changing their tune. Listen to New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
New York is a very kind and generous state. But to think that a state like New York or even the United States of America can house everybody who wants to come because of economic circumstances really creates a problem for us.
She adds you have to have common sense regulations for the border about who can come across illegally.
America's listening to Fox News.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a bike. Ready on your dog target. First squad to the rear. Road guards out. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer House. They're going, I'm cracking up. Did you just hear that idiot governor of New York, Kathy Hochul? Did you just hear what she said? She said, we have a wonderful state of New York, but that doesn't mean we can take everybody who just wants to come here and be here for economic reasons. We just can't take everybody who just wants to come here for economic reasons. My God, what do you think they're talking about on the border? 7 million people later. Oh, my God, she just said exactly every conservative's complaint. We just can't take anybody who just wants to have a better life. I mean, sign the book and come in when it's your turn, but you can't just swamp us. Oh, my God. And she actually said those words. Well, we can't take everybody who wants to come here for economic reasons. Oh, my God. And Biden just said a comment. A headline came up on the screen, and Biden was talking about how he's praising Governor Newsom. I'll talk about that in a second here. But President Crime Family's praising Governor Newsom's leadership. And then Biden said, quote, well, if I were smart, I'd get out right now. And I don't know what it referred to, whether it was referring to about the office or but that was the headline. And anyway, so I can't believe they're saying maybe the scheme was the whole time. And by the way, Pete Davis, Flounder, I'm sorry, I didn't even say hi to the boys in case you just joined us. But maybe the whole scheme, he's behind the whole thing, and they're always planning all along to step aside and have Newsom be the head. Or how they're going to explain that to Carmela's side piece, a shiftless, lazy vice president. He can't just say, I'll bet she's going nuts. All of a sudden, he's praising the leadership of Governor Newsom while she's still vice president.
And how cynical the Democratic Party, he would be the number one replacement. He's running the worst state in the country now. Everybody knows they can't find enough U-Hauls in California because everybody is taking them to other states. And all he does, he looks the part, but he's absolutely an empty shell. What he does is even horrible, what little he does. And that's who they would put up as the future of their...
Yeah. Well, remember when Biden was gone overseas and Newsom showed up at the White House with his sleeves rolled up and his jacket over his shoulder? I'm here to work. I'm ready to go to work at the White House. And maybe the fix was in, and we didn't. I mean, they were faking us out all along. Maybe Biden himself is being told, okay, you're out. So, but he can't possibly just say, well, I'm going to give it now to Governor Newsom. He's got the black female. The country go nuts. They go absolutely nuts. Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be freaking great. 506, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Let It Rip Friday. I hope you're having a great... It's going to be a beautiful weekend here locally anyway, and around 60 and sunny. Outstanding. Here's the number, 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Holy Crap at Sports coming up. Flounder's Funnies. We got a game. We'll play a game here shortly, too. And also Pete's tweets. And a couple more emails Flounder sent me. Pete, you'll appreciate this. This is from Russ, I think it is. It says, hey, guys, heard you talking about John James today. Weren't you talking about him yesterday, Pete? Isn't that...
Yesterday.
Yesterday, was it? Heard you talking about John James today. I actually went to high school with him in Panama City, Florida at Bay High School. He was a class of 67. I was a couple years behind. What's ironic is that he wasn't even on the team in high school. Not sure why, but he was a walk-on at Florida, which is also my school. Please don't hold that against me. Enjoy your show. Excuse me. You cover three of my favorite topics: politics, music, and sports. And do it with a great sense of humor. I miss Rush, but you guys are right up there. I wish you had replaced him instead of those other guys. Oh, sorry. Russ in Chattanooga, non-binary, preferred pronouns he and haw. Very, very funny. And I got one more email here as we get onto our program. This is from KB. It says, I thought Kimmer would get a kick out of this. Our mailbox, he sent a picture. Our mailbox is a popular character in our Marietta neighborhood because we dress him up for the holidays, dress their mailbox. The original mailbox we had was the color of a golden retriever. It's a dog-shaped mailbox. But when it was time to replace it, we went with black and named him Johnny Midnight as a nod to the Kimmer. Makes us smile every time we say his name. The Kimmer came back on the air. So glad to have him back on the radio with Pete and Flounder, of course. Pictures attached. Love Kelly, the real K, a political junkie. Join me. So now should I get this address here? It has an address. And it calls her, I guess it's...
No.
Well, it says, Love Kelly, the real K. Brett political junkie, join me on, and gives the a web address, which means, obviously, I want to support this person to say thank you. It's kbsos.com. I mean, they put that on there for me to read, so I don't think that's bad. I assume they would be okay. They probably want the publicity, so I'm helping them out here. That's all. And speaking of Johnny Midnight, I've got to come up with it. I'm still trying to. But shall I tell the quick story of what Johnny Midnight is, for the people who don't know, or just nobody?
No, because you can't do it until you actually do one. Then you can explain who he is, because you've been lollygagging for years now. And by the way, the Paris Olympics start in a few months. And you haven't done an Olympic thing since
I know. I'm going to do them all. I'm going to do them all. With a family from South Africa. Would be one of my yeah. Yes, and Sletskaya Popakakov, the famous Russian gymnast, will be among the many entertainers and performers.
Don't forget her coach, Olga Kachakakov.
Exactly. We wouldn't want to leave anybody out from the little town of Feltertits, Finland. So, again, those are the kinds of things where you just... 510 Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And again, if you haven't heard, you haven't been in touch with the news this afternoon, this is astounding. The Fulton floozy Fanny and her lover boy have been caught clearly, if not out, well, it's been perjury. Clearly they're lying, deceiving the court in their testimony from last week. And it's really unbelievable. Just a couple of highlights. Fanny the floozy and her special prosecutor lover, Nathan Wade, were having late-night trysts at her apartment well before they claimed their romantic relationship began. And it makes a difference because then all kinds of charges could happen if they could prove that she, one, was lying under oath and lying to the judge. The AT&T records are gleaned from a number of times that their phone pinged off specific cell phone towers. There was an investigation about the number of times her ex-lover visited her at her apartment in Hapeville neighborhood. How about this? He apparently visited her condo or her apartment 35 times, staying overnight before she hired him. Now, maybe he slept on the couch after they watched a movie together, just holding hands. I don't know. But that's nonsense. 35 times overnight at her place before she admitted it. There was so much focus on specific events. They knew he would get there at 10 at night and leave at 4:35 in the morning and stuff like that. They went on and on and on. She was renting the apartment from a close friend who says, oh, yeah, they were lovers long before she admitted it. So that's 2. This kills me. Listen to this. Loverboy and Little Miss Tickler made more than 2,000 voice calls to each other and exchanged just about 12,000 text messages in one 11-month period in 2021. 2021, of course, is before 2022 when she claims they started having an affair. So she got caught in a lie with that. She also got caught because they were caught 2,000 voicemails in 11 months and 12,000 text messages. That's more than 1,000 a month.
But in a court of law, that does not prove anything about an affair.
Well, okay. All right. I will. However, if you go to bed and your grass is green and you wake up in the morning and there's snow on the ground, it snowed last night, but you can't prove it. Okay, I mean, you're freaking killing me here.
Could have been all-night twister parties. He brought the Mazzola.
On the internet together doing, what's that game? A Snorkel or Wordle? Or what's the one you had? Jumanji? Jenga. Yeah, it could be. That could be a perfect explanation. Now, but here's the thing, and this is important. Trump's attorney, Stephen Sadow, by the way, this guy's brilliant. They should have known not to mess with him. Stephen Sadow said to Wade when he was on the phone, so if the phone records were to reflect that you made calls from the same location as her condo before November 2021 on several occasions, would the phone records be wrong? He said, if the phone records reflected that, yes, they would. He said, they'd be wrong. He said, yes, they'd be wrong. Well, that was a lie. And during her firing testimony, Willis replied when asked how many times he visited her at the condo. She said, oh, I don't think often. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. And Sadow said, well, let's say more than 10. I'm not sure even if that's accurate. And she said, oh, I don't remember him being there a lot. She said, well, sometimes we'd go to eat somewhere and stuff, stuff. Oh, my God. 2,000 voice calls, 12,000 text messages, overnight stays by the dozen. And by the way, she also misled the judge completely and entirely. And if nothing else, he has the right to suspend her from having any part of this. I don't know why, after all this came out this afternoon, I can't believe she hasn't made an announcement saying she's off the case. They can't possibly think she can make this through. I mean, the balls on these people. She lied under oath about phone calls and visits and everything. She, if not that, she definitely obfuscated with the judge. She misled him. God.
It's so cute how you still believe in rule of law.
I know. It's full and I'm so sorry. What an idiot. 5:14. Well, we'll clear it up now after Holy Crap at Sports with Pete next. Thank goodness.
Start your day the right way with Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra.
Sanctions don't work. Let's do something to Iran. Let's fight back in some way.
Sanctions work against Russia, but they don't work when...
No, but they're not
so
working
we'll give you
against
$6 billion back.
Yeah.
They did the opposite with a terrorist organization. They gave them $6 billion.
We fund all this stuff anyway.
It's nuts.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. every weekday morning on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Job seekers, stop the endless job hunt. The Blue Collar Recruiter is your key to the career you deserve. Are you a skilled worker seeking the right opportunity? Look no further. We connect you with employers who appreciate your dedication and expertise. Technicians, electricians, plumbers, welders, and more. We've got it all, and opportunities are just waiting for you. So skip the frustration and let us guide you to your next job. Call the Blue Collar Recruiter, 678-916-6145, or visit thebluecollarrecruiter.com.
Millions
of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
What are your plans for your business this year? Hey, it's Tug. Do you want to expand and grow? Aren't you exhausted by going to lenders, building a relationship, and a week later, you got a new person to deal with? You have to start all over again? You don't have that with First Liberty Building and Loan. The Frost family has been helping businesses grow since the 90s, and they want to know you. Unlike big banks, they want to partner with you. The Frost family knows the patterns. They know the ebbs and flows. They know business. Get to know them at firstlibertyga.com. Building a building, buying a franchise, expanding. Reach out to them. Spend 10 minutes with them. See if you're a fit for them and if they're a fit for you. You do that at firstlibertyga.com. And by the way, if you're a young banker and want to work with a team that is faith-friendly and has a culture of excellence, First Liberty might be a good match. Reach out to them today. First Liberty Building and Loan. firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for a new weekly radio show, Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. or find it online at thepodcastpark.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Look out, coming up, the story of the idiot Democrat mayor who gave away the freebies for illegal invaders. And they said, gee, what are we supposed to do with this? Well, we'll find out. But first, holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
Braves getting ready for their first spring training game tomorrow against Tampa Bay. And Spencer Strider will start the game, which is good.
The
Spencer.
Excellent.
Okay, that's a new nickname for him. Okay.
Has he still got his mustache? Got his porn mustache?
I believe he does.
Outstanding.
I believe he does. Yes, sir. Guess who's playing first base tomorrow?
I'll bet you it will be. Hold on. I know this. I think I read something about this on the in the thing. Hold on. It might be O'Reilly. It might be Austin Riley or
no.
Oh no. I think it's Ozuna, Marcell Ozuna. Right?
Marcell Ozuna.
In fact, there was a story about how he came up and then he sucked and then he had a problem with the thing and then he came back and I had a great year last year and now they're going to try to get him playing more and put him over at first base. Not that we want him to take over from our first baseman, but just to be ready in case.
Never happen.
And he's practicing and learning and I think that's a very smart idea. Outstanding.
It's good for him.
Yep.
Good for him. Yeah. I heard on the Cellini and Domino show on Sister Station 680 The Fan, Jared Kelnick saying he's made a promise to himself to never kick another water cooler again.
Why, I wonder.
He missed some time last season in Seattle by doing that. Hurt his foot there, so that was not smart.
Not good, no.
And the MLB players are still not happy with the new uniforms, especially the part where the pants are see-through.
Yeah.
One fan tweeted, I'm going to buy my wife a pair of MLB pants instead of lingerie this year for her birthday.
Yeah, it's stupid. They must have known that. How could they not know that they could see through the pants when they've tried them on? I mean, my God.
Only Rob Manfred could oversee something this horrible.
Didn't he have them bring the freaking things to him and say, "Okay, let's take a look at what you've got here"? My God,
he's an idiot. Roger Goodell, the NFL would never let it get this far, but Manfred, the moron, would do something like this. They still haven't fixed it.
They must not have heard from the players. They didn't try it. They didn't get comments. I mean, this is unbelievable. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, Chris Domino said, "Well, now we'll know who wears the cups and who doesn't now."
Well, there you are.
Because a lot of players don't wear them anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Which,
well, now there were. Well, yeah.
All right. They made us wear it. Little League, they made us wear it.
We wore them occasionally,
too.
but I used to hate them because they're bad. You know, I mean, you can't. As a running back and a middle linebacker, I really didn't like it because it affected everything. It's nothing.
I remember
running.
I was 8 or 9 years old over at Glenwood Hills, which isn't there anymore. Basketball. And I remember they handed these things to us and go, "What is this?" Well, you put that down there. It's like, what?
Yeah, wait a minute now.
And it felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was horrible.
I mean, I hate them.
Yeah, no good.
Georgia State is expected to hire Georgia running backs coach Dell McGee as its head coach, according to ESPN. McGee is joining the Panthers after spending the past 8 years as the Bulldogs' assistant with the running backs. He played at Auburn. He's 50 years old and played for the Arizona Cardinals for 3 games back in '98. The NCAA expected to move up the early signing period to December 4th, whatever that means. And Falcons running back Bijan Robinson tells Sports Illustrated he is expecting a big season in 2024, super big. Robinson wants to rush for 2,000 yards.
Good, I like it.
Season,
I like that attitude.
Which would be... That'd be 1,024 more than he got last year under the offensive genius, the basically Dan Henning lookalike Arthur Smith. Basically, he split the touches almost 50-50 with Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
Okay, I love Tyler Algier. There's no reason in hell that should have happened. Arthur Smith doing that is what got him fired. You do not expect to see that happen again under the new offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson. That will not happen. It should be at least 70-30. Robinson over Algier.
Absolutely, he's a star.
Algier.
Yeah.
So anyway. The Falcons have re-signed long snapper Liam McCullough. He'll be back for his 3rd year in Atlanta. And guess who isn't happy with the Chiefs signing punter Matt Ariza, who's been cleared of his rape charge? The Swifties are none too pleased.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I got news for you, Swifties. It was a real cute year. Everybody had a little fun with the Taylor Travis Hallmark movie. But 99.9% of all Kansas City Chiefs fans don't give a tinker's cuss what you think about personnel moves that Andy Reid makes with the Chiefs. So take your drama and your blind hero worship and go back to posting heart and cat emojis on the gram. That's my opinion. We will.
Well, let's reflect. We have kind of a delay thing going here, so I hope you're working out okay with this. If I interrupt you, but as I remember the story, this kid was accused by this girl. She was basically gang raped. What was the complaint? And it turned out that she realized after the fact, and just recently, she realized that he complained, or he stated in the beginning he was at the party, but he never went in the room when all the rest of them did. He left long before it ever even happened. He was at the place, but he was not one of the guys who did it. And then she said, "Oh my God, that's right. He wasn't even there." And now the girls are complaining about him. They ought to complain about the girl. If you really care about women's rights and supporting, the truth in advertising, for God's sakes, you ought to be complaining about the girl to make sure they don't keep pulling this kind of stuff. That kid's ruins reputation forever. I mean, for some people at least, it'd probably be on his freaking tombstone. The man falsely accused, or and prevented from being a kicker in the NFL. It's cost him a year or two in the NFL. Cost him his livelihood, his reputation. My God! And the Swifties are complaining about this. Please, you got the wrong angle. You got the wrong part. I'm sorry. There you go.
Guess what Taylor Swift has banned Travis Kelce from doing?
Well, I don't think we're supposed to be talking about this after the email I got from Flounder's friend that says he doesn't want no more Kimmer talking about Taylor freaking Swift.
No, that's you.
Yeah,
I
know.
Say
okay, good. Okay, what's the question again? What's the question again?
What has Taylor Swift banned Travis Kelce from doing?
Having sex with other girls, among other, probably
strip clubs.
Oh, well, he shouldn't be going to strip clubs anyway. Why would he want to go to a strip club? I mean, seriously. In fact, he
loves strip clubs.
Well, then he probably shouldn't go. If I didn't go to a strip club on my bachelor, I had a bachelor party, and I refused to go to a strip club, and there were strippers there at the party, and I told them that I didn't want them to do anything because I was honoring my bride to be. And he should obviously never go to another strip club as long as he's with her, just because that. And plus, for what? And they come over and say, I mean, I don't get it. Why? And looking what you can't have, for one thing. I mean, that's just, why would you do that to yourself? I saw the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life was a stripper naked to her little tippy toes at the Gold Club. They invited me as a special guest in their special lounge area up there, and she was the star. Oh, she was it's like you couldn't have sculpted and drawn from artist from heaven a more spectacularly perfect woman in every way. And so I'm thinking to myself, I lasted about 4 minutes. And so why? What am I doing here? This is stupid. Anyway, I don't know. Why would he go to a club when she wouldn't want him to? Good for her. I don't blame her. There, sorry.
I couldn't have done a better job of emasculating you if I tried.
It shows honor to the girl. I mean, my God, it's just a gentleman can be sensitive. Well, now
which laid the groundwork for a lifelong commitment between. One of the categories on Single Jeopardy for Thursday's show was 40 years ago, 1984. So the lady contestant chose the $800 clue, which led the program to show a pic of male figure skater Scott Hamilton.
Yeah.
Male
Yeah.
figure skater.
Yeah.
The clue was, at the Winter Olympics, this American won gold with a 4.5-minute program that featured triple jumps. So the woman buzzed in and answered, "Who is Mary Lou Retton?"
Who not only is not male, but she's not a skater.
Yeah. Yeah, and the sad thing is, both he and Retton have had health issues lately.
Yeah,
Hamilton announced yesterday or earlier this week that he's had now 3 fights with brain cancer, and this time he's not going to undergo surgery for it.
No surgery. Yeah. He said he will not undergo surgery until he starts feeling the effects of not having surgeries. In other words, he doesn't want to preclude it. He wants, if he starts feeling bad, then he'll think of doing it, but he's not going to do it until he needs to. So tough.
Your Atlanta Hawks back in action tonight in State Farm Arena against the Raptors. And Chris Haynes came for Shaquille O'Neal during TNT's NBA tip-off last night at the pregame between the Lakers-Warriors game. Haynes told Shaq that he wouldn't believe who just asked about him. When Shaq asked who, Haynes said, "Nobody."
Gee, I wonder where I heard that earlier in the show. Thank you very much. Hey, you know who was wondering about you? Who? Nobody. Ouch.
Nobody.
God.
Yeah, like you're not going to use that tonight on somebody. Believe me.
Some chick.
So Shaq did not take it lying down. He immediately shot back, "Well, have fun because you about to be working for ESPN Deportes tomorrow. Better learn Spanish."
Very funny. I love it.
On this date, February 23rd, 1958, 5-time Formula One World Drivers Champion Juan Manuel Fangio is kidnapped by Cuban rebels under Fidel Castro's orders. He was released after the Cuban Grand Prix.
Yeah, I remember. I saw it on the history list. Yeah.
1968, Wilt Chamberlain became the first NBA player to score 25,000 women. 1985, Indiana basketball coach Bobby Knight throws a chair over the court. They say onto the court. It slid all the way across the court.
It was flying, bouncing, flying all through the hardwood.
Yep. 2021, Tiger Woods crashed his car, a courtesy car, driving south of L.A., injuring both his legs. And, of course, he made a complete recovery and has won 3 straight Masters. So, no, that's never going to happen again.
No,
sorry.
it's over.
And finally, 1960, 28 months after the Dodgers play their last game in Brooklyn, the demolition of Ebbets Field begins. A wrecking ball painted up like a baseball, which is kind of pathetic, actually, began its work on the ballpark. The Dodgers had played there for 44 years. They wheeled in wheelchair-bound Roy Campanella, the team's former All-Star catcher, 3-time NL MVP. He is given an urn of dirt from behind home plate as just 200 people show up to watch.
Oh, my God. For the tearing down of Ebbets Field? They wouldn't want souvenirs from the Dodgers, called Dodgers because of the railroad tracks. They had to dodge all the streetcars to get, oh, my God. I can't believe, that's unbelievable. Roy Campanella was paralyzed in was it a car wreck, I think? It was a traffic accident, wasn't it?
Car accident.
Yeah. Wow. A couple of sports birthdays, Pete. Ed Too Tall Jones, 73 years old, 6'9", Dallas Cowboy legend.
Dominating.
Yep, and Fred Biletnikoff, the star receiver, little kind of a bald-headed, skinny little guy. Man, he could
love
run.
That guy.
Yeah, I used to love him. He was very angular, seemed to. I remember him being, but he would snag that ball, man.
He called everything.
Yeah, it was like Spider-Man. I mean, he just had glue. He just snag it.
Well, He did have some glue.
Yeah, they did have a glue on the hands. Anyway, Fred Blitnikoff's 81. And when we come back, we're going to do the detailed story of the actual facts concerning Wilt the Stilt with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder next. Flounder's Funny's coming up. And, we got stuff. Kevin, yeah, look at 5:30 right here.
Atlanta radio legends are right here on Extra 106.3. And here's what you missed from Neil Boortz.
Joe Biden? His day starts at 10 o'clock. His day ends at 2 o'clock. He is not to be left alone, ever. Even his own Justice Department defined him as an elderly man with a poor memory. So he shouldn't have to stand trial for wrongdoings. Sympathetic, well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory. Poor memory, he can't even remember when he was vice president or the circumstances around his son's death.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
What's your retirement plan? Master Plan Retirement Consultants specialize in constructing plans designed to meet the challenges you could face over the course of a retirement. As holistic retirement planners, we cover tax, income, Social Security, legacy, healthcare, and long-term care planning. Our strategies are designed to maximize your retirement savings and income while minimizing taxes and protecting your assets from forces that could disrupt your retirement, providing peace of mind. A fiduciary advisory firm, Master Plan Retirement, works with you to create the potential for a sustainable retirement and a legacy to be remembered. Join us on our weekly radio show, Retirement Roadmap, every Saturday at 12 p.m. on Extra 106.3 as we discuss retirement topics for today's financial environment. Episodes can also be found on YouTube and on your podcast platform. Find us at masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation. Master Plan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the podcast park. See you around, Atlanta.
True Prep on Cobb Parkway is your one-stop shop for emergency preparedness supplies, including freeze-dried food, water filtration, first aid, and more. They also have a large selection of firearms, including a huge selection of AR-15s, firearm accessories, and ammo at the lowest prices around. They are locally owned and operated. You can visit their store in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or online at trueprep.com. That's TRU-prep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
As we start 2024, Central Heating and Air Conditioning would like to thank everyone for trusting them with your heating and air conditioning and home performance needs by throwing the 27th annual Winter White Sale going on right now through the end of February. And you can save up to $2,000 with carrier rebates, the best in the business. At Central, you're guaranteed to get the best deals possible. And why is Central Heating and Air the best? Well, they're one of the few locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and it's still that way today. And Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house health and possibly your family's health with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speeds, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Central Heating and Air's 27th annual Winter White Sale goes through the end of February. So check them out online at centralheat.com or call them at 770-GET-HEAT and turn to your Atlanta carrier experts.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Boy, that Shannon Bream is freaking beautiful. God, she's on. They're talking about San Francisco stores now have to escort customers to shop. If you want to go into certain stores in San Francisco and you're looking for stuff, they'll say, well, here, I'll guide you. What are you looking for? And they have to escort you shopping through the store because otherwise they're going to steal everything. And they get away with it because they pass laws. And again, California. They want Governor Newsom to be your president. Oh, my God. And there's Shannon Bream's on. She is so beautiful. She's smart. She's a legal expert, Supreme Court correspondent. She was Miss somebody or other and Miss America. She's just and smart and classy and very religious. And she's just serious and just gorgeous. Man, she is so pretty. 536, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And this is David Bowie. We talked about Jim Bowie with a knife. This is David Bowie. And in 1974, Rebel Rebel entered the British chart, reached number 5. Originally written for the aborted Ziggy Stardust musical, in 1973, Rebel Rebel was Bowie's last single in the glam rock style that was his trademark. Was also his first hit since 1969, not to feature lead guitarist Mick Ronson. What does it mean it was his last single in the glam rock style? What did he do after glam rock?
He had a little phase, like the Thin White Duke phase and stuff. He would, every 3 or 4 years, he would change his persona.
Okay, I didn't know that. Our birthday list includes Tom Bodett. I'll leave the light on for you. Motel 6 spokes legend. Tom Bodett is 69 years old today. Do they still have Motel 6s? I don't think I've seen a Motel 6 in years. I've been in them. I used to go to them. Because they were clean and cheap.
I'm sure
and,
you did.
Well, no, I mean, if you're driving across country, but I need a bed to sleep in for 5 hours and hit the road again, so I don't give a damn.
Or an hour.
Yeah, or an hour at a time, sure. My first wife, I'll start over. Okay, 537. Yeah. Oh, and more on one of the things you mentioned in 1968. Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain of the 76ers became the first NBA player to score 25,000 points. And I had written down here, became the first player to score with 25,000 points in the NBA. And the reason I did that, just like Pete did, is because, in fact, well, now I can't find my story. Oh, here we go. Here is the situation. A firestorm erupted when Wilt Chamberlain testified and told people publicly that he had had sex with 20,000 women. The country at the time was in the middle of an AIDS crisis. Activists criticized Wilt for his promiscuity. African-American circles said he was promoting black racial stereotypes. Feminists resented his blatant sexism for using women in such a matter. Despite that, Wilt Chamberlain never backed down. He simply stated, I was laying it out there for people who were curious. He was emphatic. He never went to bed with a married woman. I was just doing what was natural, chasing good-looking ladies, whoever they were and wherever they were. But could he really sleep with 20,000 different women? Well, he started having sex at the age of 15. Up until the age of 55, when the book was published, he would have had 40 years to sleep with 20,000 women, 500 women a year. Easy math, that's 1.4 women a day. According to friends, Wilt loved threesomes. He was intimate with 23 different women on one road trip. He was a lifelong insomniac, sometimes not sleeping at all. He'd take a woman to bed anytime he couldn't fall asleep. The time factor, a childhood friend says, I don't remember him ever having a date. He was a virgin in high school. He did have a 6-month schedule for 14 seasons playing pro ball. That's 82 games, not including that stuff. Anyway, they're saying that you could figure it out, especially that they were all over him, even if it's only half true. And I'll bet it's close. I mean, imagine women. He's 7 feet something. He's Wilt Chamberlain. And if you're a groupie, and if you're looking for, hell, the women who wanted to meet with me just because I was a TV anchorman 20 years ago or whatever. It's unbelievable. And I'll bet it's true. I'll bet it's true.
Yeah. Back in your Motel 6 days.
Hey, ho, 539. Yeah, would you like to come down and watch me do a newscast one night? Oh, God, could I? Oh, God, Doing. Anyway, sorry. I was wrong. It was wrong. Well, it was wrong, and I don't regret a minute. I was single. I was single, and what am I supposed to say? Oh, I saw you on TV last night. Well, I'm just doing my laundry. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry. It was just, okay, that's all I got. Okay, the memory. Give me a break. I got a memory. I'm an incel. All right, thank you very much. I'm a secondary freaking virgin, okay? Thank you. Look it off my back. Anybody kiss my foot? 540. Oh, this is funny. Democrat Mayor of Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser. What an idiot. She distributed thousands of dollars to low-income moms, no strings attached, as an equitable economic recovery strategy, offsetting the cost of child care. All these illegal invaders, and by the way, the illegal aliens, the actual legal term, not illegal immigrant. So these invaders are coming in. An economic policy expert said her misdirection of funds is absolutely outrageous. They had 132 mothers in the program choosing whether to receive a monthly payment of $900 or get $10,800 in a lump sum. It was a pilot program. These handouts actually trap people in a cycle of poverty, according to economic folks here. One recipient named Kanathea Miller said she took the money, and some of it I just left alone. The other side is I wanted to blow it. I wanted to have fun. My kids got to experience something I never would have been able to do if I didn't have that money. She went on a 5-day, $6,000 trip to Miami, had a boat tour, exposed them to million-dollar homes and luxury yachts. In what she called a rare moment of self-indulgence, Miller spent $180 ahead of the vacation to get her hair and nails done. She took her kids shopping, got them all new outfits and toys for the trip. And now, see, some of these people are saying, it goes a long way to be helping some of these neighborhoods if you just giving people to take trips at these legal immigrants. And one thing, I'm sorry, I'm avoiding your signal there, Flounder.
No, I was testing it. I was about to hit it, and I didn't realize I had that problem.
It's coming up in about 20 seconds, so we'll do that. But this woman, the mayor would have been better off spending the money on reducing crime. I mean, the girl spent it on luxury tours. This is unbelievable. And by the way, this is amazing. I just learned this today. One of the most interesting things about English I've ever known. Did you realize that the word listen and silent use the same letters? Sort of interesting. Did you know that the word race car, spelled backwards, is race car? Did you know that eat, E-A-T, is the only word that if you take the first letter and make it the last letter, it spells its past tense, ate. A-T-E. Fairly interesting. Have you noticed that if you rearrange the letters in illegal immigrants and just add a couple more, it spells, go home, you freeloading, benefit-grabbing, resource-sucking, non-English-speaking asses, and take those other hairy-faced, sandal-wearing, bomb-making, meth-pushing, camel-riding, goat-shagging, raggedy-ass back rag pickers with you. It's amazing. Just arranging the letters, it comes out like that.
That's Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, Bargatze. I don't have the comedy part. I have the XM stereo, whatever they call it, Sirius XM. But I used to get the free comedy parts. They have the comedy channels, but now they started charging a bundle for this stuff, so I dropped it. But he was on one of my favorites of all time. Jesselnick. And,
I'll have to check tonight, but you might be able to get, because you know how a lot of times they try and steer you towards the app.
Yeah, specials they'll offer you.
Yeah, but again, you may have it free on the app versus on your car, so I'll download the app and we'll find out.
Oh, excellent. Well, I had no idea. Thank you so much. 544 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And let's see what else we got here. Donald Trump pledging to defend Christianity against the left. He was in Nashville, and he says, of course, the primaries tomorrow in South Carolina. He wasn't in Nashville. Well, he was when he said this, but he was in South Carolina today, and their primary is tomorrow. And Nikki Haley is still in it, although she said, well, I better do a lot better than I did the last one. So she's kind of inkling the fact that if she gets creamed tomorrow, that she's going to have to call it quits. And by the way, why is she hanging in there? I mean, seriously, it's not proving anything. You can't possibly believe that anybody who was going to vote for Donald Trump would suddenly say, gee, she's starting to make a lot more sense now.
I think the only reason she's sticking in is she thinks one of these cases is going to go the other way, and then she's going to be the candidate.
Well, I think that's probably the best common explanation for it. But I'll bet you if that happens, Tim Scott and Ron DeSantis, the people are going to vote for them over her. The only thing I get excited about Nikki Haley is when I think about her forcing me to shoving me in the back seat of her SUV so she can climb on my lap like she did with that guy. Jeez, that's pretty exciting, but that's not a reason I'm going to vote for president. Hell, if Trump gets things, she's not going to be the candidate. It's going to be DeSantis. Anyway, 5:45. So I don't know what she's doing. She's ruined. It's not like she's in it all the way. Well, what difference is that? Anyway, I don't get it. It's 5:45 already. Holy cow. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. Here we go.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Well, Sally, thank you for your time, but unfortunately we can't offer you the position.
But why?
Well, we got the results of your background check and we saw some red flags.
Like what?
Apparently you were accused of dog-napping a chihuahua named Mr. Cha-Cha.
Mr. Cha-Cha was my soulmate.
At Horizon Background Screening, we find things that other companies don't. That's why companies that use us make smarter hiring decisions. Don't let the wrong hire put your company at risk. Get the real story on your candidates at horizonscreening.com.
Hey homeowners, Tug here with some exciting news. Southern Exteriors is your one-stop solution for top-notch exterior services, from roofing to siding, windows, gutters, and more. No more waiting. They can start on your project immediately. And with an in-house warranty division, Southern Exteriors stands by their work for years to come. From leaky roofs to faded siding, trust Southern Exteriors for a quick and lasting transformation. Don't wait. Transform your home today. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co now. Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years.
Hey there, it's Janelle King, host of The Janelle King Show, right here on Extra 106.3 FM, where we are unafraid and unapologetic. We explore the topics that matter the most. You can catch us on Saturdays at 4 p.m. and encore episode on Sundays at 9 a.m. And catch up on past episodes by going to the podcast park right here at Extra 106.3 or wherever you get your podcasts every single Tuesday. Until then, stay unafraid, stay unapologetic, and never stop seeking the truth.
You've been listening to Ray Giudice for years. He's a smart guy. You know he knows DUI and criminal law. He's been in practice for over 30 years. But did you know Ray knows some of the best legal minds in the business? From labor contracts to real estate to divorce. Ray can help you through it all. He can put together the legal team you need. He's the guy you call when you've got legal questions. So call him at 404-964-4185. Ray Giudice. 404-964-4185.
The Atlanta Braves are proud to host the annual Bill Lucas Ralph Garr HBCU Classic, March 1st and 2nd at Coolray Field in Gwinnett. Come see the Grambling State University Tigers take on the Florida A&M Rattlers. The HBCU Classic is designed to showcase HBCU baseball in the Southeast and foster the next generation of diverse baseball players. Friday's March 1st game begins at 5 p.m., followed by a game Saturday, March 2nd at noon. Tickets are $15. Get yours today at braves.com/HBCU Classic.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I want to say it. Oh, all right. We have breaking news, by the way, coming up in a minute. 5:50, 10 before 6 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And on this day in 1965, the filming began on the Beatles' follow-up to A Hard Day's Night on location in the Bahamas. The working title of 8 Arms to Hold You. Other locations for filming included London, Salisbury Plain, the Austrian Alps, New Providence Island, I don't know where that is, Twickenham Film Studios. The Beatles said the film was inspired by the classic Marx Brothers film Duck Soup, and also directly satirical of the James Bond series of films, their follow-up to A Hard Day's Night, 1965 filming. Birthday list includes Damon John. He's 55, the Shark Tank star, founder of CEO of FUBU. Finally, Unreliable Bastards United. I have no idea what that means. Draymond Green. And on this day in history, I used to love these. 1896. I used to love them back in 1896, in fact, when they first came out. Yes, these cardboard-like chewy knots of something. Leo Hirschfield invented the Tootsie Roll. I used to love the Tootsie Rolls, unless they get stale. If they get stale, it's you don't want it. When they get like you open it up and it's sort of tan, like lighter color. No, then it's too good. But the Tootsie Rolls were great, and they're good for. And by the way, I'm not making this up. They were also good in the service for plugging bullet holes. They would actually use them in, I think, Korea. They first started using things like that. They were in sea rations or something over there. Well, whatever. Also, speaking of war, 1991, this didn't take long. The Persian Gulf War, American troops crossed the border with Saudi Arabia into Iraq. 3.5 days later, the war was over. Iraqi forces either surrendered or fled. Were mowed down by the hundreds of thousands. They weren't exactly as tough as everybody thought.
Run away!
5:52, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Just in the Lake and Riley case, authorities now have a suspect in custody in connection with the homicide of 22-year-old nursing student from Augusta University found dead on the University of Georgia campus yesterday. No indications of a continuing threat. Quick briefing. They're questioning a person of interest, and she previously attended the nursing program at Augusta's Athens campus, where she made the dean's list. Police asking anybody who saw anything to get a hold of them. She was noon Thursday, the intermittent fields, and that's where they found Riley with visible injuries. They received a call from a concerned friend. She had gone biking, or went for a run, I guess, and didn't come back. And autopsy results are pending Friday. They believe the death was a murder. And classes have been canceled, and now they have a guy in custody. I'm trying to find a name here or who it was, and I don't see anything.
No name.
No name yet, or whoever was of interest. I know they were investigating across the street or nearby. There was a gas station. They were looking in the dumpsters and things like that in the area. Obviously doing an investigation. So anyway, they have a guy in custody, and it says suspect. I don't know whether obviously not have been arrested or they would have mentioned that part of it. 5:53. Holy cow! Let's see. Oh, by the way, I'm kind of glad this is happening, and it's a little late, but still. I mean, it's the other shoe's dropping now with Uvalde. Remember the case of Uvalde, the school shooting? Well, law enforcement officers are now ordered to appear before a grand jury investigating after 2 years of the deadly Uvalde school shooting. They were hesitant to confront the lone gunman. Subpoenas for in-person hearings have been issued. The hearing is set to begin in the courthouse next week in Texas. They'll have multiple agencies called. The 12-member panel of the grand jury will investigate officers for failing to urgently stop the gunman in the May 2022 school massacre. They're expected to consider the trove of evidence. 376 law enforcement officers descended upon the school after the active shooter call went out. Had law enforcement agencies follow generally accepted practices in active shooter situations, gone right after the shooter and stopped them, lives would have been saved. Hundreds of law enforcement officers waited 70 minutes on site before one team finally breached the fourth grade classroom and confronted the 18-year-old scumbag who had an AR-15 style rifle and fired 140 rounds in the school. 5 officers in Texas have already been fired or reassigned. Uvalde school police chief at the attack was fired. The acting police chief shortly after also resigned, and now they're going. The grand jury is going after all the other officers who didn't do squat, and they're going to have to explain themselves. Which, by the way, is fine with me. Get to the freaking bottom of it. Oh, I know. Oh, God, we got another balloon going over Colorado. Oh, my God. Pete just said this. Holy cow. The U.S. military is tracking a high-altitude balloon over Colorado. According to U.S. officials, the aircraft spotted the balloon and claim it is not a threat. They're looking into the purpose of it. America sent military aircraft to investigate. As you recall, last February, America shot down a Chinese spy balloon off the coast of South Carolina. That was kind of fun to watch. And so they're not saying that this was a spy balloon particularly. I'm getting a call from Humana. Give me a break. Stop calling me. Anyway, and so now how are we here? Just hearing about this? Colorado isn't exactly a border state. Anyway, so here we go again, perhaps. Good Lord. Let's see, where were we? Oh, and by the way, if you're thinking of going, traveling to the South in the Caribbean and so forth, tropical resorts popular with Americans are no longer off limits for cartel killers. Apparently now the cartels are fighting each other, and they're saying now because of social media, a whole new kind of people are going to places in Mexico. The cartels have become war zones. The rules have changed. The old guard code is out the window. Resorts are open range. It's like an open shop. Social media influencers have attracted an influx of travelers, and the gangs have never seen people like that before. With all these young kids coming up through the cartel ranks, there's no respect for anything. They don't give a damn. It's become a free-for-all. Travelers sucked into the violence, targets are robberies, sex trafficking, innocent bystanders, wrong place at the wrong time. I'll tell you, I'll never go back to... we used to go to Mexico, rent a Jeep, and take off into the hills. Never for a minute thought about gangs or being captured or kidnapped or anything like that. Just took off. All over the country, Mexico.
A lot of Motel 6s out there.
Not too many Motel. Well, we did the same thing in Puerto Rico and the same thing in Acapulco. And everywhere I went, I would do the same thing, but not anymore. Not anymore. Not that I would. It'd be fun to go by myself now and traverse the same area. just to reminisce. I remember when. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, smoke a little doobie, have a little margarita on the side, and go to the beach and say, "Oh, I remember the time when." Oh, that's right. No, that wasn't me. That was somebody else. Yeah. Have we got another funny in there? I didn't even ask you. Flowers in the back there. Do you have another funny to play or not? It's we got.
I do not.
Okay, well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. 5:50, almost 5:58 with a Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. The good heavens. Let's see what else we got here. Leftover stuff. Oh, this was incredible. President Stupidface is bragging about how he didn't let the Supreme Court stop him from giving away all that money to student loans, even though the Supreme Court said you're not allowed to do it. So he just signs another executive order, another $1.2 billion. Bragging about how happy he is to break the law and to break the rules of the United States Supreme Court.
He did what Andrew Jackson did when the Supreme Court says you cannot round up the Cherokee Indians and send them on a Trail of Tears to Oklahoma. And Andrew Jackson said, well, tell their army to stop my army from doing it.
Yeah, and he did it. And has never been forgiven for it for good reason. I mean, that was an abomination. Anyway, I don't know. Plans, Pete, for the weekend?
Well, like I said, I'm going to go see a friend play a little music at a pub tomorrow. Maybe find some trivia or something, but I'm just enjoy the outdoors.
Outstanding. And Flounder, Miss Veronica, hope she's feeling better. Going to a party, birthday party, I think.
Birthday party this evening, and probably hang with my dad on Sunday.
All right, and again, I don't want to dwell on this, but it's important. I hit a deer, glancing blow from a deer in the dark on Terrell Mill Parkway, Terrell Mill Road last night, going east from Powers Ferry, taking a right on Terrell Mill and going in the dark right past Indian Trail. For all it's an area, I can't believe they're out at night. It was dark, like 7 o'clock. 2 deer, and the second one banged off my front bumper, going 40 miles an hour on me. I slammed on the brakes, thank God. But anyway.
It's a gang of daredevil deer hanging out on Terrell Mill.
Dodging the Kimmer. What are they doing on it's 45 miles an hour out there in the night with headlights? And anyway. All right, I got to go. You're killing me. Well, have a great weekend, boys. Super Fi and Semper Fi, and I gotta get. I'm hopping a hoop. Stand by. Let me out of here.
The Kimmer Show is back every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. only on WFOM Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Extra 106.3 FM.
Taking action against Russia. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Hundreds of new sanctions imposed on the eve of the second anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Russian President Vladimir Putin was wrong when he believed his forces would roll into Ukraine and break the will of its people, President Biden says.
Kyiv is still standing. Ukraine is still free, and the people of Ukraine remain unbowed and unbroken in the face of Putin's vigorous onslaught.
But the president says that is due in part to U.S. support for Ukraine, telling lawmakers they cannot walk away.
Failure to support Ukraine in this critical moment will never be forgotten in history. It will be measured, and it will have impact for decades to come.
President Biden says the House should return from recess and pass a Senate-approved plan that provides $60 billion in Ukraine aid.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A New York jury has found the NRA and its former leader, Wayne LaPierre, liable in a lawsuit centered on the organization's lavish spending. LaPierre has been ordered to pay just over $4 million in restitution. A high-altitude balloon has been spotted over the western U.S. Two U.S. officials confirmed to Fox that military aircraft spotted the balloon, which they say is not a threat, over Utah. University of Georgia police say they have taken a suspect into